in the shadows of the darkness all around. Waiting and watching, trying to take us down. Haters gonna hate no matter what you do, but we ain't looking back now that we've made it through. Rising up, no stopping us. We're on our way. Doesn't matter what they try to do or say. We're just getting stronger. Can't touch us any longer. We're on our way. And tomorrow's always gonna be a brighter day.
How you doing today? Hopefully the rain's over for you. I don't know if did it rain? Did it rain where you were at? It rained all day today. I'm on the third pair of shoes. Just getting crazy. I'm also I might be even worse with my speech today because I got Novocaine. I just came from the dentist. I didn't realize I forgot that I had a dentist appointment today. God damn, it's so expensive. Another $2,200 down the drain. But hey, I have nice teeth, right? But yeah, I have a little Novocaine thing going on right now. A little pain, but we're here. We got a big show. I'm sorry I'm late. I was just catching up with Nan on some of the latest developments. What we're going to be discussing here today. Definitely going to be discussing Karen Reed and her civil trial, all that stuff that's been going on. As well as, yeah, I always forget about my dentist appointments, and then they text me. There was one day I was at I was at Karen Reed's trial, and it's funny. This is why I got to stop doing Monday appointments. They always text you the day before, but if it's Monday, they always text you on Monday. There was a Monday Karen Reed trial hearing I was at, and then I got the text while I'm at the hearing. No way I'm gonna be able to get to the dentist. I had to cancel. Like, I'm at the free Karen Reed hearing. But yeah, I always forget about my dentist appointments. If I had known, I might have scheduled this a different day. But anyways, enough about me. We're gonna be talking to attorney Nan Gallagher, who is here, but she just had to step out for a second. We're just waiting for her to come back on the screen. Yeah, she's ready. She's ready to go. You all ready for attorney Nan Gallagher tonight? Put up your ones on the screen. And did you see that in the intro? We have her in the intro video now. We have a Nan in the intro video for the show. I want to thank SK27 Music for creating that new intro video for us. Put your ones up in the chat for Nan. Let's hear it, jerks, for Nan. Attorney Nan Gallagher tonight. Welcome back to the show tonight. I hit the wrong button. At least I didn't mute. At least I'm not muted yet.
No, I'm sitting here and I just watched your intro, and I have to say, I was like, is that me? It's me, but it looked a little AI. I'm going to be honest. It looked a little better than the real thing. I'll take it though.
You liked it, man. I think it did. He did do a good representation of you in that. It made you look good. But sometimes I see mine that he does, and I'm like, I don't like that one. That doesn't look like me. But he's doing.
Can you please tell Scott, can he come to my house every morning when I'm getting ready for work and court and make me look that good?
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah noticed we're twinning in blue tonight. We got.
Yeah. Oh,
you're not wearing the hat. I am. They shamed me.
My home run T-shirt.
Yeah.
My home run football T-shirt. So
the trolls shamed me. Now I'm wearing a hat because I'm just like, I can't deal with them focusing on my hair. It bothers me too much, people. So now I have a hat on. You bullied me.
I almost had a hat on because it was pouring rain a couple of hours ago, but now it's blue skies. I heard that the weather that we had down in Jersey made its way up to you. So my apologies.
I don't know. Did we freeze? Did you freeze? Or was it me? What's going on? Someone's freezing.
Something seems glitchy, but not. Am I glitching again? I glitched with Brian the other day too.
Yeah, it seemed like you were glitching a little. I think you might be fine. I think you might be. We'll see what happens. If it gets bad, we'll turn off the video if we have to.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm just thinking, because there's so much to talk about today. Um, Sarah said we're fine
Yeah.
on the TV, so I guess it's just maybe us back and forth. I guess it's fine on the YouTube, so they're not seeing it, so we're fine. We're fine. Um, yeah, I mean, what do you want to start out today? Because I always kind of kick it off with a certain topic, but there's a lot to talk about, and I'm wondering what Attorney Nan Gallagher wants to talk about today with so much going on, so much drama, so much
Oh my
fire,
God. I know. And
covering all
it's
these
like,
other people's problems.
I know, and I'm not on X anymore, so I hear about a lot of this stuff secondhand, and I'm still interested in it, to be honest with you. So it's not just the Karen Reed case and Turtle Boy's case and all of the drama associated with it, but also just I'm very interested in what people, for example, like you and LTL and JFK and DJ and Bia and others and Elisa, what they have to say. If I ever want to catch up on all the stuff, I watch Untwisted Tragedies because she kind of will go through Twitter, even though I'm not on it. But I will say, there's plenty of stuff going on. I mean, we could talk about any of it. I saw there was a Bettero letter.
That's
Actually,
why we were a
just
little late. Let's tell everyone, clue everyone in on that, because like you said, you weren't on Twitter, you didn't see it, so I sent it over to you.
yeah.
That's why we're a few minutes late, so you could kind of skim over and read it quickly.
Yeah, let me
But there's a
explain
new,
this. Let me explain this, Mike, to your audience. You want to know
yeah.
what Mike did to me, folks? Like, I've been in court all day, and as I get onto the show, which is always at the 11th hour, like Mike knows this, I log
Me
in.
too, though. I'm at the 11th hour too, because I came from like the dentist going to walk another customer dog and then run over here to do this, and it was just it. Me too. So
Sometimes,
we're both
and
at
and
our ends. Yeah, go ahead.
well, as Brian says,
So
like
we
we
didn't have
actually
much time to
have
catch up
jobs.
today. Hmm.
When
We
sometimes
both work. Holy shit.
we do, and we actually have lives and don't live on Twitter and other media sources all day. But with that said, as I log in into the green room, Mike's like, "Did you see this letter?" I was like, "No," and he emailed it to me, and I'm like reading it at the last minute, and I've read it. So I assiduously study it? No, but can I explain what it appears to be? Sure. Um, so what appears to have happened is you got another Bettero letter. I don't remember specifically if he addressed it to the lead prosecutor in Atlantic County, New Jersey, which is, if anyone cares, is about 2 hours from where I reside in New Jersey, or if he sent it specifically to the prosecutor on the LS matter. But the letter, go ahead.
Assistant prosecutor, Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office. I have it up on the screen, maybe. Do I have
Oh,
it up? Yeah,
thank
there it
you.
is.
Yeah, let me make this bigger for me. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
sent it to the assistant prosecutor, and basically what it is what any good defense attorney would do, and Mark Bettero is a good defense attorney. As far as what he's doing here is he sends a letter to the prosecutor, and from what I can see at first glances, he's asking for all Brady exculpatory material, which is something that any defendant is constitutionally entitled to have. That's any evidence that would otherwise disprove legal culpability or guilt on the part of a defendant. It also is material that could be used later for impeachment purposes of witnesses, etc. But Bettero wants Brady material that could show that perhaps Aidan Carney did not commit the crime or crimes alleged. I don't recall if anyone has told me if the indictment has been unsealed, but it does appear there's been one count from what the letter says of cyber harassment in New Jersey. New Jersey has a pretty robust cyber harassment statute. It's one of the best that I've seen nationally. And that type of that type of statute carries a lot of weight. You know, a lot of people in my neck of the woods will say, you fuck around in New Jersey, you're going to find out really quickly. Does it mean that all cases that go to indictment in New Jersey for cyber harassment result in convictions? Not necessarily, but there seems to be one charge from what the letter says that will stick, or at least has stuck. He's been indicted on one. And there's some allegation of, now I'm going by memory, but lewd or inappropriate content, whether that's verbal or otherwise, on the part of Aidan Carney, that somehow has caused LS some emotional harm. And I can tell you historically, when I used to watch Aidan and his streams, now I don't. Now, frankly, I get them secondhand, or I watch them through Untwisted Tragedies. But when I go through and I see, go back to the past, when I used to watch his streams, I mean, he had streams where he would talk about her. I remember specifically the stream, and maybe many of you all do, that would have been back in February of 2025, when he had issued his blog about LS, and then had, I know he had at least one, if not more, streams about her. He's mentioned her repeatedly since then. I remember Will the Glare had a stream concerning her. At that time, Will and I were in communication with one another, and I remember him reaching out to me just about how wild the blog about her was. If I'm going by memory, that blog in and of itself was quite disparaging. Does it mean all of it is true as to her? No. Does it mean that even the blog was emotionally harmful to her? Could be. That's up to a jury to decide. So over the course of a year plus, and I don't know what the time period of the alleged crime or criminal activity was, if it was one particular event or date or action, or it was a series of events or actions over the course of a period of months that essentially boiled down to what resulted in a criminal indictment for cyber harassment in New Jersey. So now you get to the point where Betterow sends this letter. He wants all Brady material. It does appear from his letter that he has been provided some file materials. Now, that may be all that's in the prosecutor's file that was presented or explained to the grand jury prior to the issuance of the indictment. I don't know. As your audience probably now knows very well, that grand jury proceedings are closed. They are to be kept secret. They are to be kept very carefully close to the vest. And we may never ultimately hear a thing about what specifically was presented to the grand jury. But it seems from the essence of the Betterow letter that he does not feel that he was provided with everything, including any potential exculpatory information that would show that Aidan Carney perhaps did not commit the crime of cyber harassment in New Jersey. So he's asking for it. He also, and I may be missing some points, so I would say to your chat, hold off for 1 second if you want to feed me some other content that might be in the letter. But what I do specifically remember from reading this a few minutes ago is that he is calling into question significantly her credibility. And as far as her credibility is concerned, he mentions, excuse me, he mentions things like her having burner accounts and her having sent content in the form of text messages and other written communications with others that somehow would cast her credibility into question. And that is something that I don't feel, as a criminal defense attorney, results in a dismissal of charges. Now, this isn't a motion to dismiss, but it basically, Betterow saying, what did you present to the grand jury? And did you even evaluate and take into consideration, after a 7 or 8 month process, her credibility when making a determination to present this to a grand jury? And that I kind of take issue with, because her credibility, her motivations, her conduct whether she has burner accounts, which frankly may or may not even be relevant at all. And I'll leave a little asterisk there because I have a couple more comments on burner accounts. But all of those things that I just recited for you and your audience, Mike, will ultimately be trial issues. Oh, I glitched a little bit. Those are issues that will be for a jury to determine if she makes a credible witness on issues of what she experienced, what she reviewed, what made her emotionally harmed, different facts that she may have presented to a grand jury or put in affidavits. Those are things that will never well, I don't want to say never, but really would be unlikely to persuade a prosecutor to somehow reconsider or rethink a decision to prosecute her. Now that the indictment has issued, I don't recall if anyone has told me that it's been unsealed. I had my suspicions a week or so ago as to why it could have been sealed if it contained any type of sensitive information, whether that involved children. I was speculating. I don't know. If it involved some type of sexually inappropriate content or conduct, I don't know. But if it has or has not been unsealed, I'm unaware. And I love this new blank slate phase of Nan Gallagher being off of X because I get to digest information as it's sent to me or I become aware of it through other streamers. But I did want to say one other thing, Mike, and I'm happy to then tell your audience if you had other things that you saw in this letter that might trigger me to remember what I just read. But as far as burner accounts are concerned, it is my view that the reference to, the identification of, or the insinuation that someone has burner accounts and that somehow impacts her credibility, her reputation, her manner of comporting herself, that is a extremely slippery slope. If Aidan Carney wants to go down that path, or his attorney wants to go down that path with a prosecutor and a grand jury, and to somehow say, well, look at all these burner accounts that she's admitted to, and in doing them, she used A, B, and C to somehow foment or propagate some bigger plan she had to become famous in all of this, or to influence or somehow take advantage of Paul O'Keefe or any of the O'Keefe family members, or to capitalize on the grandeur of the notoriety of the case. Well, that is, and your audience might know this, that's opening the door. If you want to start talking about burner accounts as some type of insignia or badge that you are a bad person who is incredible, meaning unbelievable, or have ulterior motives to do wrong because you use burner accounts, well, buckle up, Aidan Carney, because you're going to be facing the same type of questions about you, your credibility, whether you're using burner accounts, including, if I recall, there's been one that I did see allegedly linked to him in which he was taunting and making fun of at least one of his own attorneys. So, fuck around and find out in New Jersey.
Yeah, Ghetto Mello.
Yeah,
Ghetto Mello.
I know that was a mouthful.
Yeah, Ghetto Mello.
Yeah, Ghetto Mello might come out, and others, and
others. There's a spreadsheet.
From my own observation, when there was a spread.
I mean, even just going on his
back in my
YouTube
X
presentations, you can see him when he brings up his Twitter. Sometimes in the past, he's had different accounts. You can see him using them. So
it's funny.
There's a lot of proof
funny
there.
you say that. It's funny you say that, Mike, because there's at least one other content creator that I can think of where it's been obvious when they show their Twitter on the screen that they have other accounts. People who claim perhaps they're not on Twitter. But anyway, with that said, yes, the Ghetto Mello account allegedly has been linked to Aidan Carney, among others. And there was a whole spree, months ago, where a certain ex-girlfriend of Aidan was going through on a truth tear. Ooh, I'm glitching. She was going through on a truth tear, and she was and with some assistance was going around pegging a bunch of different accounts, linked to a lot of characters, including Aidan Carney. So, it's a bad approach if you're going to start to say that burner accounts make someone less credible or somehow prove that there's some other motivation to conduct. And then as far as that cyber harassment, I was on in court today on a cybersecurity matter. But as far as the cyber harassment claim and the charges is concerned, um, I will say that those tend to have a lot of bite in New Jersey. So it, right now, as this case proceeds, like if I were Aiden, I would be very concerned because if they don't fully understand what was presented to the grand jury, and it's fair, he should have an understanding of what led to the charge. I would be concerned if I were him because if he doesn't have that understanding, and he will at some point, and obviously the case can't proceed unless he fully understands the nature of the charge against him. But he should be concerned moving forward because is it one thing? Was it a series of things? Was it a bunch of different activities on his part that impacted LS in such a way so as to make her feel emotionally harmed? Was there any type of sexual component to it? I don't know. But it also would be very concerning to me if I were him because of all of the pending charges that he's facing in the Commonwealth. So at this point, I sit, I wait. I think Mark Betterow is not going to get much in response to that letter. And with all due respect to him, and I think he's a very good attorney, but my opinion, and not that of the show, is that, sometimes a lot of people make a lot of big deal about these big Betterow letters or these mega motions from Betterow, which from my view are really just your basic run of the mill doing the solid job for my client, making sure I kick all the tires, but nothing to write home about. So anyone who is looking at this saying, woo, this is great, it's going to make this all go away, buckle up. You're about to find out.
About this letter. Because you kind of mentioned the purpose of the letter. Obviously, he wanted. It's very valid to get the information that's due. So
Right.
we don't need to discuss more. It's obvious that's what he was trying to do. But the second part that you talked about, it seemed like it seemed twofold actually to me, honestly. And I wonder about this because I feel like he was trying to move the prosecutor to maybe drop the charges, but at the same time. Well, let's just talk about that because if your chief witness or your chief victim has made up stuff and some of the allegations against her, if true, are really kind of concerning, like, is he kind of just giving the heads up to the prosecutor? Like, hey, dude, or ma'am, whoever, I think it's a woman actually, you need to make sure your ducks are in a row here because this woman has a lot of credibility issues and we're going to go after her in the defense. So you better be ready for that. Are you ready for that? Do you know about this? You kind of just giving him a courtesy, letting the prosecutor know and hoping maybe the prosecutor backs off and drops the charges. But there's also a second thing here. And you mentioned cyber harassment. This is about cyber harassment. And Betterow made a big deal about it before when he put out his statement about this grand jury has been sealed and news got out about it and how dare you. But here's Aidan posting the whole letter up, and it's really bad against the supposed victim of the cyber harassment. It's almost like an attack on her. It feels like to me they're trying to scare her too, to let her know, like, we're going to bring all this in. Your reputation is going to be ruined if you go forward with this. I mean, what do you think about that part of it? Is he really trying to move the prosecutor? I feel like he might be, but I also think secondarily trying to scare her off too. And is there any way that the prosecutor might be like, you know what? I'm not going to put this woman through this. Let me have a phone call with her and discuss it. And maybe it gets dropped that way because she might get scared off, both of them, maybe the prosecutor and the victim of this. What do you think? And is there a risk too, though, that, the prosecutor is going to turn around and say, this dude posted it up on his Twitter. His mob is now attacking the woman. More cyber harassment is going on. the letter is almost like more cyber harassment in a way. Like, I don't have an issue with him, filing this letter, but why post it? Why is Aidan the one posting it up on his Twitter? What do you think about everything I said there? What's your comment on that?
Wow. Well, first I would say objection, compound question, Mike.
I
You
know.
just hit me with like a bunch of them, but I think these are great questions. And I think there's not a lot of people out there who would be asking these questions. You know, these individuals, at least at arm's length, whether it's online or in real life to some degree. So I think the purpose of the letter was to possibly convince the prosecutor to, reconsider whether she wants to move forward with this case. It's a solid warning that there's alleged credibility issues with LS. It's also a solid warning to LS that, your credibility or reputation are going to be called into question here, and be careful what you wish for because you just might get it, type of thing. I can say, never having communicated or spoken with LS, and despite all the rumors that I saw out there, everyone thought, oh, Nan helped bring this charge. I heard people say you helped too. As far as I'm concerned, I had nothing to do with this. Just because I'm a lawyer in New Jersey doesn't mean I have anything to do with charges that were brought. I don't have a personal animus that would motivate me to get involved in that. So it was a warning to LS, but I can say this, not knowing her or communicated with her, she's well aware already that by proceeding this far, meaning she started with, I believe it was a civilian complaint, and then through like the natural process decided no, and discussion with her attorney and or judicial individuals, a decision was made to modify this to something that was going to rise to the criminal nature and then to go to a grand jury. That process takes time, by the way. So I remember a couple of months ago or a few months ago when she dismissed whatever lower level matter she had filed, everyone was like spiking the ball saying, see, it's going away. And I was like, at that time, it's not going away. It's going to be converted to something that's going to be presented to a prosecutor in her county, Atlantic County, New Jersey, to then be considered for prosecution. I don't necessarily believe, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I have no reason to believe just because Aidan or Mark Betterow says, well, we were told this is all going to go away. And then the next day or within X period of hours, it was presented to a grand jury. I don't believe that until I would see for myself that that's what happened. But I can tell your audience, that's happened to me before. I've had prosecutors say, nah, we're not going to prosecute this, and then find out a day or two later it absolutely was presented to a grand jury. So that's not unusual. That's not bad faith. That's
Yeah,
just the
that
way the
happened to a
cookie
friend of
crumbles.
mine.
Yeah. Like
Related
it,
to that, civil suit that I was involved in. Remember that civil suit? That dude, the charges were dropped. The prosecutor said, I believe, if I'm remembering right, they indicated they weren't going to go forward with it again, and then they tried again on him, some criminal charges, and of course it failed. So, I mean, I've seen that happen. It does happen. Yeah.
it does happen, and that
Prosecutors
doesn't
change their mind. They get
they
new info, or somebody else says, "Oh, there is a file. We already decided that miscommunication happening in the
that's
office,
right.
right?"
That's right. So when I say I don't necessarily believe when Aidan or Betterow says it, I don't mean to disparage them. Not that, I feel they're liars,
Yeah.
although, I'll bite my tongue on some issues. But what I will say is happens all the time. So if the prosecutor decided they did want to proceed, they could have, maybe there was a file, etc. I think this kind of signaling to the prosecutor that their lead witness, the claimant, so to speak, the complainant, the person who says, I was wronged by this, I was harmed, may have credibility issues, and that the prosecutor may not have considered. Yeah, I mean, is it smart for Betterow to do that? Sure. But I can tell you, it's not going to make the case go away. So, I mean, I think because Aidan posted this, and this isn't the first time where somebody's posted a Betterow letter, including Betterow himself. I think there's a lot of self-congratulatory behavior going on here. If I posted every letter that I thought was fantastic that I wrote, which is all of them, by the way, online, I mean, forget it. I'd be blue in the face with how many times I'd be talking about it or doing it. So this type of letter is the right thing to submit, but by doing it, not they. Aidan is further potentially cyber harassing Ms. Stakini.
Posting it.
Yeah, by posting it. Now, I am not saying,
Reposting it. It looks like someone else actually shared it, but he, of course, reshared it. That's how
of
everyone noticed
course.
it. Aidan, when Aidan shares it, everyone notices. But
Yeah, well, just to be clear on that, I don't split hairs. The minute, and I'm assuming you said it was reposted by Aidan Carney. The minute he reposts it, he's taken ownership of it. So he published it. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not saying that he is violating New Jersey state law by reposting that. What I am saying is it's a bad look. It technically is harassing behavior. If you want to start putting out letters that publicly call into question the motivations or the credibility or any of the conduct of the complainant on a criminal charge against you, it's your First Amendment right to do it. It appears possibly to have been a publicly filed letter. I don't know. I didn't look at the criminal docket. But what I can tell you, it's just bad. It's a bad look. It's bothersome. And I know I've referred to her as LS, but I've already said her last name. At this point, Ms. Stakini, she's already measured the risk. She knew the minute this was going to go to a grand jury, which would need to be her decision as well, because she's the primary complainant. The minute it was going to go to a grand jury, and well before that, she knew that she was going to be examined under a microscope. You know what I mean? I mean, her life is out there. And frankly, if I were her, I would do the same thing, because it's her opportunity to potentially get some level of vindication on her part of her own reputation. I've done that to a different degree on different matters online as well. When my credibility has been called into question or my reputation, I've stood up for myself. So I think this is not going away unless there's been a failure to disclose Brady exculpatory material to Aidan's defense team. But at this point, there's still time for them to do that under New Jersey law. So I think this was a bunch of, I want to keep this G-rated. I think this is a bunch of de-swinging on the part of the defense to try to make people feel like, hey, this case is worth nothing. I don't think it's worth nothing. And I think it could ultimately also impact his bail, which he's out on in Massachusetts.
We will talk about that in a second. But I mean, I want to stick on this point because I feel like I mean, let's just take Aidan out of the equation. Let's pretend it's because, Aidan is loaded. He's like, everyone has an opinion on him, and we can't get over it in a lot of ways because we see him do things over and over and over again. So it gets, but let's pretend it's not Aidan. I mean, let's pretend it was anyone else. Like, let's pretend it was me, and I'm up on cyber harassment charges in New Jersey, and I'm looking into this woman, and she's got a lot of documented, maybe not true facts she said in the past. I mean, part of me might want to defend myself just due to the fact that people are, calling me a cyber harasser.
Yeah.
I mean, I could almost feel for him that he has to put his side out because we're in this YouTube space where people will talk about that. They're going to come at him. So part of me, I almost have sympathy that they have to be able to defend themselves publicly in a way. But at the same time, if you do what he did today, some people are going to claim it's cyber harassment. So it's a catch-22. And if she's actually been posting too, which it seems like she might have been through the burner account, doesn't it all cancel each other out? And the judge is probably just going to be like, you know what? You're both talking shit online. I told you both to stop. We're going forward. Let's just do this trial. I mean, isn't that in the end what's going to happen here? It's going to go forward probably. And especially if there's other evidence outside of her word. I mean, for me, if I was a prosecutor and all I had was her, if she was just the only one and it was based on what she said, only her testimony, then I'd be like, yeah, we gotta have to dismiss this case. But if she has documentation and evidence, then obviously the case would be strong and go forward. Is that going to come up into play with this? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but
No, it's okay. Like I literally grabbed for one of my notebooks because you are hitting me with a lot, but these are
yeah,
fantastic questions. I agree with you, Mike. Aidan should be speaking out to the extent he's speaking out in terms of if he wants to post something, if he wants to post a better letter, fine. I mean, he's got Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination, so he's not going to. Although, frankly, I think I saw some clips where he already did speak about this, which is shouldn't be doing that, Aidan. Don't talk
no.
about this on your
I mean,
streams.
that's the thing.
Really bad.
If I were
But
him, I probably would shut up. But part of me gets it why he wants to defend himself. Yeah, go ahead.
As I would too. I mean, so yeah, if he wants to put something out there to kind of call her credibility into question, I get it. But you're walking a fine line if you do it. As far as gosh, you hit me with a bunch of other comments. But oh, well, as far as Stachini is concerned, you know, you're commenting and saying, well, if she's the only witness and if it's her words, technically, from what I know, she might be the only witness. I have no idea. I don't know if there were schools called or, you know, I saw so many rumors online about there's other pieces to this. So all of that is alleged. I have no personal knowledge of it. I haven't seen a pleading. But what I can tell you is there's not just her. Aidan's streams, Aidan's blog. Okay, so I know there's been at least one blog because I read it. I know there's been at least one stream, and I'm sure there were more work because I've listened to them. Those will come into evidence. Those are the defendant, Aidan Carney's words. He could remain silent if his case in New Jersey went to trial, which this is way too early to even think about trial for him, although he does have the right to a speedy trial in New Jersey or frankly in any state or commonwealth. But I'm just thinking ahead. He has the right to not give testimony at his trial, but his streams, his blog, all of that will come into evidence. And it's important when we're weighing considerations on who's more credible or who really did what. And is it really Ms. Stachini's credibility, or does she have problems with her motivations and who she's been communicating with and why she got involved and this or that? Yes. But Aidan, just like Karen Reed in the Karen Reed underlying case, they used media. They went to media, whether it was their own or third parties, to start talking about issues. And as we saw with Hank Brennan's prosecution in trial 2 of Karen Reed, he was very successful in getting a lot of little clips and snippets into evidence as admissions or potential admissions against her interest, which is a hearsay exception in the Commonwealth and other states. So, you know, it's not just Ms. Stachini and she's the only witness. If I were the receiving prosecutor to that letter, I would be concerned, saying, well, hey, I think there may possibly be more to this than meets the eye, but I wouldn't withdraw. And I say that not, when I say withdraw, I mean dismiss. I would not dismiss the charge. Maybe I would let him plea it out. And as far as your comment on the judge, you know, maybe a judge just kind of throws his hands in the air and says, you know, enough with you guys. Like, you're both alleged bad actors up to no good, or whatever you were proposing to me. I think a judge would probably be a little annoyed with all of the conduct of both sides in this, but it's not. Ms. Stachini hasn't been charged, so the judge has no ability to do anything to her. She's just essentially a witness. She's the complainant for the state, but the quote unquote criminal plaintiff, so to speak, and I'm using that in quotes, it's the state of New Jersey. Ms. Stachini is a witness on behalf of the state of New Jersey. Pardon Roselle, she's barking. She agrees with me though.
Hi,
So
Roselle.
the only one who needs to be concerned with what a judge thinks about all of this is Aidan. But unless it's a bench trial, it's gonna be up to a jury to decide. And if I'm gonna say this now, if there was a trial in this matter, I don't necessarily know if I would want it to just be a bench trial, because there's been allegations that Ms. Stachini's family or relatives may have some ties to lawyers and or the judiciary in New Jersey. So I would not recommend a bench trial. I'm not saying she does. I'm saying I've seen things online which
Some in the letter. I don't know if you get to that part, but there was a part where, well, you know, from what my understanding is, her husband is an attorney, but apparently LS claimed that her father was a judge, and they're saying that that was a lie in this, you know, letter from Betero. I don't know if that's true. I don't know any of it. You know, I'm just reporting what's in the letter. But
yeah.
you know, who knows? You know, one of the things too, like on this whole thing, it just to me, it's like on both sides, even me. Like I feel like we all jump to conclusions too much. And we really don't know until it gets to court, until we see the evidence. I feel like a lot of the turtle riders today were like, see. And I feel like even on the other side of it, where some people want to see Turtle go to jail. And for me, I'm not so much jail. I just want to see him get punished like anybody else if he did this shit. You know what I mean? Like if he's guilty. So what would you tell both sides? Like, what would you say to the turtle riders and maybe the people who are a little more amped up and want to see him in jail about all of this? What would your message to them be, I guess, to both sides?
Related to this newest charge in New
And
Jersey?
just, yeah, in New Jersey, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
talk. A lot of people are like, he's definitely going to get convicted. And then other people are like,
Yeah.
this is all BS. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of times, sometimes the truth is somewhere in the middle. And we just don't know. We really don't know in the end. So what do you think?
Yeah. So I will be the kind of the middle ground. Let me be the middle ground here. I've always tried to be that. Sometimes I get a little biased. So what I will say is this. The New Jersey indictment has teeth to it. It is concerning to me. This wasn't just a civilian complaint where someone in New Jersey can walk up to their town clerk's office and file a civilian complaint, like one was done recently in New Hampshire by Sparkley against Meredith and Jen, which was ultimately voluntarily dismissed as to Jen Altman and ultimately determined to be unfounded as to Meredith. But someone in New Jersey can go to their town, file a civilian complaint saying, I've been harassed. I want this to stop. That is something that happened, but was my understanding was voluntarily withdrawn. And by withdrawing it, a decision was made behind the scenes for this to be examined and evaluated by a New Jersey prosecutor as to whether there was merit to it and whether to present it to a grand jury. And grand juries in New Jersey, they don't fuck around. They just don't. I wish sometimes they did, but they don't fuck around here. So I would tell both sides that the New Jersey indictment, and I don't know specifically if I know what the potential penalties are for one count of cyber harassment, and I didn't see this particular charge. So what I will say is I'd be concerned, both sides, that this isn't just going to go away. However, it's a blip in the radar as to Aidan, in terms of things that any turtle riders should spend their time worrying about. I would be more worried about some of the charges that he faces in the Commonwealth that are set to go to trial in a few months. That's where my concerns would be if I were a turtle rider, because everyone seems to think that, as I said the last time I was on with you, like, oh, he's going to tell his story and he's going to have his day in court, and that's when all the stuff is going to come out. That's not the way his trial is going to go in the Commonwealth. So there he's facing jail time, significant jail time. He likes to remind people of that in case you didn't remember. But yes, he's facing jail time, and to
He
be
says that, but then he says he'll never be convicted. He's never going to jail. So it's funny
I
how like when he's looking for pity and he's looking for to tell people you can't speak out against me because of this, he says that. But then when he wants to be the tough guy, he's like,
oh yeah.
I'm never going to jail. You're a fucking idiot if you think I'm going to jail. You know what I mean? It's so funny. It's like he talks out of both sides of his mouth
Yeah,
within
don't
30 seconds of each other.
well my personal view on that, Mike, is that he likes to accuse people of accusing him of emotional manipulation. He likes to say, you're telling me I'm emotionally manipulating you, or you're telling me, because you cried in front of me, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. I will tell you, he likes to beat that drum. How many times does he say, I'm facing jail, I'm going to be taken from my kids, this is my life on the line? Sure it is, and I supported it for a long
I know
time.
we donated to it.
Right, so it
We
wasn't just
both
me,
donated
right?
to it. We supported him big time, like way more than most people.
But by the way, donations, you're right. But think about the time you put the time into, I gave donations. I spoke out on some streams about it. But in addition to monetary assistance, you gave your time. You regularly streamed about his charges and or Karen Reed's case and those charges. You regularly would feature Mark Betterow on your show. And that is also a form of giving and donation, etc. It's
Yeah, I
intangible.
helped. I helped him find his lawyer. I found a
Right.
lawyer for him.
Yeah, I hear you're really good at finding lawyers and
Yeah,
and
I found. Yeah. It's funny because I am good at that actually now, both for the show and for legal issues for myself and other people. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
I
right.
like I said, if I get sued for defamation again, I have two calls to make. The two best defamation lawyers. I got them in Massachusetts, so I've got
That's
some
good.
experience with lawyers now. Like,
And I remember when you found your lawyer on your defamation, now dismissed defamation suit. I remember thinking, like, I don't remember if you asked me, you told me you got one and to look him up, or what do you think of him? And when I looked him up, I was like, oh, he's amazing. This guy is highly
oh,
accoladed.
he's
So,
top level.
yeah.
It's
So I
funny because
was,
the other ones I almost hired were even more like even another level above. Like they're both top level. They're experts at this. The other guys I was talking to actually wrote the book on how to defend media and defamation, but they gave me a quote that I felt was too expensive. But in reality, it was like within the ballpark of exactly what the other guy ended up charging hourly. So it's like next time I'm just gonna, I'm not even gonna go on price with those two guys because they're pretty much the same price. They just bill differently, but they're both top notch. So I feel like no matter what, I'd be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's wild. It's wild how things have turned out. I mean, that will bring me to another subject about the
it
Boston
is.
Magazine story and what one of my customers said to me this morning about all of this. But I still want to stick to this. And there's somebody in the chat. There's always these people that get so they can't even look at this. Here's one. Margaret says, Mike, did you feature Attorney Betterow on your show? Are you against him now? Against who? Betterow? No, we're talking
No.
about him doing his job. There's like, no, no. That's a weird. Why would you think that? Why would you think I'm against Mark Betterow? Have I ever said I'm against Mark Betterow? Have I?
And,
Like, that's
and
the
I
weird shit
commented,
that comes up from these people. They just like kind of make shit up through a question. And it's like, I
and
don't
then
get
someone
that.
reads that, and then people
Yeah.
read that and think, oh my God, Mike's against him. You're not. And by
Yeah.
the way, I'm not either. It's
Yeah.
okay. And it's
If
my,
anything, I've defended him quite a bit actually on this show lately. Like it's funny. Like I
yeah.
have actually defended Betteroff a lot on here recently, and I get these comments a lot from people, and it's like, are you not watching the show? Are you
No, they're
like
not.
not listening? I don't get it. I don't. Just
But
weird.
also, you know,
Yeah, the other day, people were
it's
being
my
not
right.
nice to him in the chat. This is a good point, Natalie. The other day, people were not being nice to Better on the chat. And I told people, please be kind.
Was
You
Betero
know?
in your chat the other day?
No. People, sometimes people are in the chat and they have their opinion and they weren't being nice
Oh,
to him. And I said, you don't have to be mean to him. Like, just stop. Like,
well, I
it's funny.
agree. And it's the same for me. Like, I I can give criticism I'm
Yeah,
asked to. If I'm asked a question where my answer would be to give light criticism to Betero or any other attorney, I will do that, and that's my First Amendment right to do it.
right.
Um, and I actually have the breadth and experience to give critical commentary on an attorney. So, like with that said, that doesn't mean, not that anyone was insinuating I'm against him, but it doesn't mean I'm against him either. I think he's a great lawyer. But
Yeah, yeah.
hey, like if we don't look at this from all angles, like that's why I love the different content creators that I watch, because I want all of the issues looked at from around the
That's all
360
I'm trying
degree
to do here.
spectrum.
And
Yep.
it's weird because I swear to God, some of the anti-Karen Reed people can get weird with me. They've always been weird with me. But lately, I don't know. They're cooler with me, and they still know that I'm still with Karen. I mean, they keep trying to get me to change. And I'm like, I ain't changing on that. Like, and I say to them, like, Karen was found not guilty. But also Higgins and in my opinion, Higgins and Colin Albert weren't found anything either. Like so, that's why I feel like all these people, court of law hasn't convicted anybody. Court of law hasn't, so it's funny. But these free Karen Reed people, they can't let me cover things without a bias. Just to be clear, like they get so upset. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. They expect me
Well,
to be the same person I was 2 years ago, even though all this new information has come out that should change some minds. And I'm not saying about whether Karen's innocent or whatever. I'm talking about perspectives about what's actually happened here and who's actually not the greatest person, all that stuff. But people get so caught up in it. They won't let anyone change their opinion on anything. It's weird.
well, I agree. And Jermaine just put a comment in your chat. It's so culty of them to believe that only a select chosen few are above any criticism. You know,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
guess Bettero's one of them. You can never criticize Bettero or Turtle Boy. That's what they're saying. That's what you're saying. They're gods. You can they
well,
when they shit, you have to say their shit don't smell.
but you know, it's funny, Mike. I haven't heard any criticism at all out of your
No,
mouth about him. And
no,
and
no.
when I give mine, it's my view, and I'm offering it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like this isn't a pile on Betero session. He does a fantastic job in representing his clients. I think some of it is a little bit inflated by the public that's consuming it on social media. Like, okay, it's a Betero letter. Like, let me show you a Gallagher letter. Okay, they're fucking fantastic. But it's nothing. It's like nothing to be like, oh my god. You know, and someone had put in your chat earlier, oh Nan, you love the mega motion in the beginning, and now it's so funny you've done an about face. Please allow me to speak to that. That was a ways back in terms of your chat. I loved the mega motion when it was drafted. I absolutely loved it. Did I think it was a mega motion? No, I thought it was a great motion. And by the way, I still think in retrospect it's a great motion. I don't necessarily think it was ever a slam dunk to win. And in light of how certain things unfolded in the fact pattern of the case, leading up to that, and then some subsequent conduct on the part of Mr. Carney, I don't think it has the likelihood that it's ever going to be granted. If I understand correctly, it's still under advisement at this time, and I believe, maybe I'm wrong. When you go off Twitter, you miss a lot, but ultimately, that doesn't mean that I've changed my view on that motion. It's just a generic, very well drafted motion that I don't think has a snowball's chance in hell of being granted. Okay, I argued one today in court, not a mega motion, but a motion that wasn't going to be granted. Lawyers make arguments, and we wait and see what a judge will do. But that doesn't mean that like I'm anti Mark Betterow or I'll never measure up to Mark Betterow,
Yeah.
you
Like my
know?
lawyer, when I had my defamation case, my lawyer did an anti-slap,
Yeah.
and he told me straight up, this is probably not going to win, but we got to at least try. We got to at least try. It's going to cost us some money. We'll do a regular motion to dismiss as well. That's probably going to work. It did work. The anti-slap didn't work. But, his motion was still good for the anti-slap. It just, the law gets you every time because it's so narrowly tailored on that anti-slap. It really has to be a specific type of situation that usually doesn't happen.
Question for you or your audience, because now I'm questioning my memory. Was the mega motion denied or is it still pending? Does anyone remember that? Oh,
I
pardon,
don't think
Roselle.
it's been denied. That's funny.
Anyone
That's a
remember
good
that?
point. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
recall because basically, he's I would say lawyer, the judge. You could tell he's not going for it, and I think
No.
Betterow and everybody knew after that hearing, but we haven't heard since. So that's funny. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'll keep
I
an
don't think
eye on
he's
your
ruled against
chat
them yet. I
to
don't
see
know.
if anyone knows. I think it was taken under advisement and
Yeah,
it's still pending. Thank you. Russ trial. Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
it's still pending. I like Russ trial. She's great. Or he.
Is
I'm assuming she's a female, but I don't know. I think she's a lawyer. She's great. She
are
does.
you gender profiling by somebody's handle? I do that too.
You know what? No, you know what I do though? Like I just like assume they're women
Yeah.
because like 75% of the people following us, and especially in this true crime arena, and I always say guys, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's a woman. Like always ends up being a woman. Like it's and,
Well,
and the
people
only
make a lot
the
of
only dudes
assumptions.
here are the ones that are all caps and they're fucking angry all the time, and you can tell. Like that's the thing.
People make a lot of assumptions. Like there was
There we
some
go. She said it. She's female. See, I'm smart. I profile, but I know. Like it's just like subconsciously. I knew she was a female somehow. I don't know how, but I did. Yeah.
I love
Female
that.
and a lawyer. I was right.
I love that. And for some reason I think I knew that. I think I
Yeah.
saw that
Yeah.
posted at some point.
She's good.
But when I used to prepare when back in the Karen Reed leading up to trial 2 and I was doing a bunch of streams, it was I mean, I did it myself. I'm happy I did it. I'm proud of all the streams I did. But the amount of preparation for those streams that I had to do and chose to on top of my regular job, it was hard. But I was for the most part, 9 times out of 10, up on all the filings, all the developments, all the testimony. Now that I have a little bit more of a relaxed approach, and now that I'm not on X anymore, it's a little bit more relaxed and somewhat of a challenge to stay up on everything. That's why when
I
you told me
know
about
that's the
that
problem.
letter,
I was just saying today. I was driving around, it's like I don't know, having those conversations with the
yeah,
higher power, whatever you call it, the spirit. It's just saying I got to get off X.
I touch grass more.
Yeah, I said I got to get off X. That's what I came up with today. And I was like, but how do I get off X? Like, how do I do it? Because that's where all the info is in the guest. And it's like in the promotion, it's like, but I need to get off X though.
But you know
Because
what
it
though?
does.
I
It just
do
takes too
have
much time. It's a waste of time. It's all these negative people tagging you and like trying to expose you. It's just fucking weird. It's
people
weird you
keep
find out who's not your friend. That's pretty much what X is now. I had first thing this morning, someone who I fucking went to bat for immediately. Instead of sending me a message, I had no concern when all the bullshit was going against me. But as soon as they saw an opportunity, they decided to tag me today instead of fucking. It's the drama. It's like F you,
it
That's
is
that's the
drama.
only useful thing. You find out who actually doesn't like you. Cool. Thank
Well,
you.
I've been getting texts over the last like couple of weeks, so I just made a personal decision to leave X for my own sanity,
Yeah.
and for some personal safety reasons. I do have
There you go.
an alt account which I activated. It's deactivated, but I had activated it like a month ago to go onto a Spaces, and that account I reserve the right to reactivate it. if I want to do a spaces in the future, because I got to give the young jerks their Nan spaces content, you know, and that one's known as Whack Job C. But I've been getting text messages from people, not a lot, where they're like, "Are you the Melanie Schittle account?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not the Melanie Schittle account. I'm familiar with it because I remember seeing it before I deactivated. But no, sorry, it's not me. But everyone seems to think it is me. But I recall seeing his or her post, and I think they're very funny. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so I will say to both sides on the Turtle Boy New Jersey cyber harassment issue, I think the Betterow letter is a good letter. It needed to be sent. It's not going to have any impact. He is entitled to get discovery. He'll get that within the confines of the New Jersey criminal court rules. And it's not unusual, Mike, for things to roll out to a criminal defendant sometimes a little late in the game. But he wants to know what was presented fully to that grand jury. He's entitled to know. I don't think the charge is going to get dismissed. And I think Ms. Stachini knows full well what she's gotten herself into by proceeding this route. I'm not saying she deserves to be further harassed or disparaged by people. And I would tell both sides, like, leave her alone. Leave her alone. If she's been aggrieved and she's looking to the courts for some type of remedy, whether it's justice or vindication or to clear her name and her reputation, whether she wants to punish Aidan for something he allegedly has done or things he's allegedly done, then she's entitled to use the courts in New Jersey to do that. Whether or not she's a bad actor, an unbelievable person, I don't know any of those things to be true or not true. That's for the court to decide, and technically a jury. But everyone should leave her alone, and that includes Aidan. He's still talking about her. That's just bad advice. I hope Mark Betterow is telling you stop talking about it altogether. I really do. But as a New Jersey lawyer, I would tell him, stop talking about that. Don't talk about it anymore. Don't mention her name. Stop reposting things. Just let it be, and you'll have your day in court, and we'll see what happens. But if you fuck around in New Jersey, you're going to find out.
Don't fuck around in New Jersey. Catch XRP. I take great offense to this one. He says, video is awesome on the stream, but Nan does look better than Mike. Sorry, dude.
I really don't. I had such
I agree with
sleep.
you, though, actually, catch XRP. Nan definitely does look better with my eyes than myself. I agree. I agree with you, though. But you didn't need to say it, because that hurts. That's hurtful.
Oh, geez. I appreciate the compliment, Catch XRP. I'm operating on only a few hours of sleep, and I had a busy day in court today. So I'm looking forward to a lighter day tomorrow. I think Mike looks better than me, though. And no, yeah. Mike, I don't know if you've seen some of the content out there, but I had heard that one creator was saying your new haircut looked like...
they don't like my hair. They bullied me. Look at me. I put on the hat because they bullied me. I'm so upset.
Yeah, you really seem bothered by it. You look fantastic. And honestly, who the fuck cares?
Stop bullying me. Stop bullying. It's hurtful.
I might come at you with cyber harassment charges. You're making me feel so victimized, So
at least I have hair. Some of these people don't even have hair.
Yeah, and to my haters out there, I hate to dispel a rumor, but mine is real. It's not a wig.
Yeah, mine's real too. I hate to tell you, it's not a toupee. They used to say it was a toupee. I like this one. Lady Zelda says I look like Alan Ruck. I like that. I wouldn't mind. Zelda. He's the guy in what was that movie? The movie with the kid skipping school. He was the kid. He was the best friend to the kid skipping school. Remember that movie? Ferris Bueller Day Off.
Is that Alan Ruck?
I think it was. Wasn't the kid? Wasn't it the kid that had the car?
Yes, you're right. Yeah. I did not know his name.
What was his character's name in that movie? The kid that had the car?
He was Cameron. Wasn't he Cameron?
Yeah, I'm Cameron. Call me, Ferris Bueller. Call me Cameron. You know,
Wow.
they used to call me Anthony Edwards from ER, remember? Or Goose from Top Gun.
I
Yeah,
love
because I got
I
a long head. You know, it's not easy having hair when you got a long.
I love it.
You
I
guys are so mean to me out there, you YouTubers picking on my hair. I don't know. I haven't been able to sleep. I had to
well,
go see a shrink about it. You guys are really mean.
services are available. Well, you know what? At least it appears that maybe you won't get online bullied by I don't know. One creator seems to have subsided because at least she's on vacation this week, so maybe you won't
Really?
get any online criticism from her.
Was
But
she
the
still
the
going after me? I don't even know. Did she still go after me?
yeah, on occasion, and I'm not
That's
happy
funny.
to admit the fact that I
Really?
listen
She's still going
periodically.
after me. That's not smart for her. She's
Not
actually not good
hard.
at this. Yeah, she's not smart.
No.
It's like I gave her so much grace and she's still going after me where she needs all the people can get. It's funny. It's like,
I
yeah,
think
she'll figure it out probably 6 months too late. I'll just get tired of it and not give her any more grace. But whatever. We won't talk about that.
yeah.
Because we got questions here. I mean, anything else yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it on this whole New Jersey situation, but there are some other questions because,
Yeah.
there's rumors going around right now. Somebody who seems like they have a lot of good info, who's been supplying me some info, is alleging that there's some type of arrest warrant going out for him in New Jersey. I don't know if that's true, but let's pretend it's true. They're not going to come get him from New Jersey, so it doesn't really mean anything unless he goes to New Jersey if there's an arrest warrant. But I imagine that means he's supposed to go report and there'll be an arraignment. But what about bail in Massachusetts? Like if there's an arrest, if let's say if that was true, and I don't know if it's true, but let's say they have some type of arrest warrant or even just the arraignment of him in New Jersey. What's that going to do to his bail in Massachusetts? Is it all about Cosgrove, or is it like automatically something will happen or not?
Okay. So, if he was registered with NCIC in New Jersey and there's an arrest warrant issued for his arrest, then it's not going to leave New Jersey. That warrant for his arrest would take effect and be executable if he crosses state lines into New Jersey, which means that if he comes here and law enforcement becomes aware of it, then local law enforcement in New Jersey will take measures to arrest him. The same would be true, for example, if there was an arrest warrant out for someone perhaps who lived in Pennsylvania who may have committed some type of felony in Massachusetts. For example, hypothetically speaking, if he crosses the lines into Massachusetts and law enforcement becomes aware of that, they will come. I apologize for Roselle.
Oh, I love Roselle.
Um,
Don't apologize for her. We can't even hear her, but
can you
if
not?
I
My
could hear her,
kids
I'd be
are
happy. Yeah.
they're agitating her, which is agitating mommy. But anyway,
Oh,
but if you have an arrest warrant in a particular state for your arrest and you live out of state, if you cross into that state and law enforcement locally becomes aware, they will arrest you. How it affects Massachusetts is, I think that was your question, like what happens in Massachusetts if you have a warrant for your arrest in another state? Is that what you
yeah,
asked me?
yeah.
Technically nothing. I mean, he can live his life in Massachusetts. He's out on bail. And if the prosecutor in Massachusetts, Robert Cosgrove, doesn't wish to seek to revoke his bail, then nothing's going to happen. So, I mean, the arrest warrant will be docketed, if not already, in New Jersey, and it would be up to Aidan. Ultimately, Aidan's going to have to come into the jurisdiction to face trial if it gets that far. And at that point, he'll go through normal arrest protocols before his trial. I've had that happen. I've had a bench warrant issued for my client. The case proceeded all the way toward a trial. My client lived out of state. He didn't step foot into New Jersey until very close in time to his trial. And he actually had to be processed once he did come into New Jersey right before his trial, even though he was technically, quote unquote, booked a little less than a year before that. I do think there's enough now for potentially, and I'm not suggesting this happen, but there's enough now with a felony indictment in another jurisdiction for a fact pattern that involves some level of harassment and or possibly intimidation. I don't know. There generally, in my mind, is enough for possible bail to be revoked in the Commonwealth as to his other felony charges. I'm not encouraging it. I'm not saying Cosgrove should, but I don't even know. I'm assuming he's aware of it, unless he lives under a rock, which is infinitely possible nowadays. But yeah, Aidan should be concerned that there is some merit to his bail getting revoked in New Jersey, and excuse me, in Massachusetts. And it's my own personal view that if he's going to say, well, I have kids and everyone needs to support me, stop doing this bullshit conduct. Stop
right.
doing it. Stop
Yeah.
pushing people.
Stop asking us to help you with your bullshit. I mean,
Yeah,
that's really it. Like, take care of your own bullshit, bro.
Take care of I mean, look, Mike was right. Let me see if
I was right on this one.
let me see if you hashtag Mike was right in the chat, because Mike, you gave him some advice. I'm not saying it has anything to do with the New Jersey matter, but it technically, you gave him good advice, and he basically tried to retaliate against you after you did that. And as Natalie just said, he is his worst enemy. Yeah.
Good deed gets punished with that guy.
Yep.
It's funny. Well, maybe we'll talk a little bit about what one of my customers said about him today. It's funny how they pick up shit, because.
What did they say?
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We, because I want to stick on this bail thing. Yeah, we can put up Mike was right all day. And Nan is hot is another hashtag going around.
Oh no!
You see that one?
Thank you so much. Usually that's not what is said about me, so I'll take the compliment.
Yeah, love this. Thank you so much to our chat for being so nice over here. The whole bail thing. If Cosgrove wants him to get locked up, like is it generally done where Cosgrove is just gonna post I need a hearing for it, or is he gonna wait till the next hearing that I guess is coming up later on this month to bring it up? Like what does a prosecutor usually do in that type of situation? Do they wait, or do they file paperwork, or is it up to them?
So I was actually telling someone this, Mike, I leave voice messages. That's one of the main ways I leave you, like little innocent, sweet, nothing messages where I like
your voicemails. Yeah.
And I was leaving a message for someone this morning. And when I did that, I said, I don't know if Cosgrove is going to actually make an application to the court to, I mean, if he's going to at all, to seek revocation of the bail, or he would hypothetically, he was just going to spring this on all of the public and Mr. Carney at his next hearing. I don't know if or when there is a next hearing scheduled. Usually there's like pre-trial hearing where courts will call you into court before a couple months before your trial, just to make sure that everything is copacetic and you're ready to go. I want to say in the past, if memory serves correctly, Cosgrove previously sprung it on Aidan, where he tried to get bail revoked or tried to do something kind of by ambush. I don't remember exactly what that was, but if I were Cosgrove and I were seeking to get bail revoked, I would do it properly, which is to submit an I don't know what they call it in Massachusetts, but you submit an application to the court or a motion to have bail revoked, instead of springing it on Betterow and Bradel and Aidan at the last minute at a regular hearing. I think that's Bush League, as I call it. I don't like when people do that. Give me advance notice so I can prepare and I can get my client prepared. That, attorneys don't like to flounder at the last minute. We want to have the benefit of some advance notice. And by no means am I suggesting that Cosgrove do this, but I'm saying he's legally justified in getting the bail revoked. I don't see any other way around that. I do think he's legally justified. There's a felony indictment in another state based on a fact pattern, which, albeit different, does involve harassment claims, which is arguably remotely similar to what is being alleged in some of the charges against Aidan in the Commonwealth. Yeah.
Well, it'd be a tough fall for him if that happens. That would not be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that doesn't mean that we're pushing for him to go to jail. Like, I love how that gets twisted too. We're not pushing for him to go to jail, but I mean, this New Jersey indictment is serious because it's more serious because it really impacts Massachusetts. Had it just happened in a bubble and Aidan was living his life and he said things or wrote things about LS online and he didn't have all these other charges pending against him in Massachusetts, then this would be like, oh, okay, it may get pled out and it'll be a nothing burger. But because he's got, 10, however many remaining felony charges.
He's got 10, 5 felonies and 5 misdemeanors left.
Yeah, so you've got 10 charges remaining in Massachusetts and then a felony indictment in another state. That's really bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Brian and I have been talking about Turtle Boy and almost kind of giving him advice where some people who are anti-Turtle Boy are like, why are you trying to help this guy who's so fucking abusive to you? Which, I'm just trying to cover this stuff. I'm just trying to be honest about what's going on. And one of the things I said is I thought he might have a better chance in Suffolk County, in Boston, where black people are, because I feel like black people get fucked with the police more. And I feel like Norfolk County knows him too well now, Aidan, and they don't like him. 3 years ago, they liked him. They don't like him anymore. Norfolk County still likes Karen Reed. They don't like Aidan. And that's from people that live in Norfolk County that I talk to a lot. And the people that Aidan probably still think support him, but bro, they don't. They call me. They're afraid of you. They don't want to say it. They don't support you anymore. And I've been saying that. And Brian and I were talking on I don't know if it was his show or my show. It was a couple of different shows. We've said this, that as this guy alienates more people, like John Como from Canton Chronicle, like, Lucky Laughrin, like Karen Reed. But we also mentioned some of the shows, the LTLs of the world, the JFKs, the young jerks. I've been covering Canton for 3 years. I've been doing every single select board. Obviously, people from Canton watch this, and some of them like me, and some of them contact me. And I mentioned, hey, he might be turning off some of his jury pool by going after so many people that have followings in Norfolk County. This was his response. I just wanted you to check it out and see what you think about it. And again, I don't know. Someone edited this one of his turtle riders to try to make us look bad. And I'm putting it on the show because I think it's funny. I don't know if he mentioned Karen Reed. I don't know if he clipped around it or he picked one of the clips where we didn't mention Karen Reed, but I thought it was interesting that this clip came up and there was no Karen Reed mentioned in it. So I want to play this clip and see what you think about it.
I am in trouble. Like that. Yeah, some jurors are going to look at this and be like, you know what? He's got free speech rights and all this stuff. But then there's the others, and they're going to look at how he treated me, BLT, and Nan.
Me, you, and whoever has been a alleged victim in his kind of walk through Earth. And then you
I know, that's why I said I think he has a better shot actually in Suffolk County than Norfolk. Yeah. He's already being dishonest right there because it wasn't about insulting me. I'm not going to be in the fucking jury, bro. That's not what I was saying there. I'm saying our followers. I think he starts to be a little more honest about it later, but that caught me off guard. And again, I don't know if this is edited and clipped so much that it's out of context, but let's just watch a little more of this.
and LTL, they're following LTL, they're following JFK, they're following Nan.
They're following Nan. They're following Nan. Guys, I'm fucked. Oh, man, Turtle Boy's fucked now. He pissed off the Nan contingent of the internet, of the jury pool. Oh, man. I better hope there's no Nan fans on my jury pool. Like,
Now, notice he puts us all up, says we don't matter, but he plays our show over and over again. Notice who he's got on the jury pool. None of these people are going to be on the jury pool, but we all do have supporters in Norfolk County. And you know who we didn't put in that jury pool? Karen Reed. Karen Reed is more popular than anyone on the screen, including you, Turtle Boy, in Norfolk County. She's more popular than Aidan. She's more popular, I'm sorry, Nan, than you in Norfolk County. And more popular than myself and JFK and LTL and Just Machado and Kevin J. Brill. He didn't put her there. I mean, what does he think Karen supporters are going to do? I just, it's wild to me. Do you want to make any comment as we play a little more of this? Do you want to say anything so far?
I'm amused watching this. So this is hysterical. But this is look, you guys reside in his brain, and he can make fun. He can make fun of me all he wants. Like, I don't have followers. That's true. But I will say, like, some people do come to listen to my insights, and I appreciate that. But you know, he can do this all he wants. It's really none of us are going to be on his jury. But one thing he's also done is isolate financial supporters.
Oh yeah,
his actions, because a lot of people in your audience and other audiences of individuals there would have been financial supporters of his. So whether he's screwed his own jury pool or he's screwing his own wallet, he needs to stop. Go ahead,
ladies and gentlemen. Or BLT bets.
Oh, and the young jerks, they're following. We can keep going, you know. This Machado, like, there's so many people that have fallen out with this guy. And Norfolk County people are watching us all.
They're all watching.
Right there. Look
Get a good point.
It's like they're all watching us. You have 300 live viewers every show.
No, every show, bro. We have 1,000. Wait. Let's bring that back too. Right now, we got over 1,000 people watching us, Aidan. You say we had 300. You used to say 50. And the guy that you keep mentioning in the giraffe uniform, he's got 3 times as many followers as you, Aidan. So, it's pretty funny. I think you're jealous of the guy in the giraffe uniform named Robbie Roadsteamer has 3 times as many followers on social media. And he's not online 24/7 like you are. So that's funny that you're jealous of a guy in a fucking giraffe suit. You keep bringing him up. I fucking think it's funny. Robbie Roadsteamer owned giraffes.
I have to ask that of Vardia. Sir, are you a Nan fan? Do you subscribe to BLT? Do you? Because you're gone. We got to weed out the BLT people. We got to find all 15.
What about Karen Reed? Maybe you should say, do you follow Karen Reed? Notice that's not on the list. Why isn't that on the list,
conveniently left out. Yep.
You left Karen Reed off the list?
I love it.
Aidan, are you nervous? I think you might be nervous. He's acting like he's, it's all laughter.
And weed him out.
He looks like he's trying to do the Kev again. Look, this is the only time he gets happy is when he thinks he's got one over on somebody. Look at him.
I love it.
You're on trial. We're not on trial, bro. Enjoy.
Exactly.
Oh man. I mean, what do you think though? Like he just keeps getting these fires going with all these different people. And obviously we do have some supporters from Norfolk County that watch the programs, and they especially support Karen, a lot of them. And some of them support the McCabe's and the Alberts and he thinks Norfolk County is going to be better than Suffolk. I think he's better off in Suffolk, where black people actually are, who have been effed over by the police, which is crazy to say because he hasn't been nice to them. He hasn't been good to the people in the hood. He hasn't been nice to the city of Boston. But at the same time, that's how I think he's disliked in Norfolk County. What do you think? What do you think about all this stuff?
As an outsider, I think he's disliked in Norfolk County. I think he has a very high opinion of himself if he thinks otherwise. And I'm just going by things like looking at the Canton Select Board meetings. I actually talked to quite a bit of people in Norfolk County as well, and I hear different buzzings. At least prior to leaving X, I was following different creators or accounts is the better word, who were kind of talking about the word on the street in Norfolk County. So I think he's I can't speak to whether he'd do better in Suffolk County or not. I don't know, probably. And I don't know if it's because of racial composition or otherwise, or just the affliction of certain members of the community in Suffolk County based on, their own experiences. I can simply say if he thinks that Norfolk County loves him and is going to just support his conduct after they've been literally subsidizing this prosecution as to him, which has languished for, what is it, 2+ years? I mean, how long has it been since he was first arrested?
I think like 2.5 years at this point. I'm trying to
Who-
remember. It's been a
The
while.
people in Norfolk County have to remember you're paying for that. And this is a type of case with this many charges that should have gone to trial long ago. So this can gets kicked down the road and kicked down the road. Some of which, by my observation, is because of the acts of the prosecution, the Commonwealth, and some of it seems to be some gamesmanship going on the part of his attorneys. I'm calling balls and strikes, folks, and I think that this is languish. But in addition to that, Mike, besides the fact that, what you were saying about Karen Reed, what he needs to realize is because he has created an adversarial relationship with Karen Reed, and it is. Anyone who thinks it's not adversarial, now you're wrong. He allegedly, I'm going to use quote unquote, for entertainment purposes only, whatever disclaimers people want to put, whatever disclaimers you want to put out there, he allegedly feloniously wiretapped her. Has it been prosecuted? No, not yet. Do I think it ever will? I don't know, and I don't care. Does anyone think, who's watching this, out of the 1,000-something people you mentioned, think that he didn't do it or that she's happy about? I mean, she's pissed. So I don't think Aidan really understands that when push comes to shove, Norfolk County, which for whatever they think of Karen Reed, and I think there are many people who love her very much, or at least feel sorry for her, support her. I mean, she's got lawsuits pending, which we'll talk about, that may have a devastating financial impact on Norfolk County and other agencies and institutions. But what I will say is, by creating an adversarial relationship with her, by the very nature of, frankly, his annoying conduct with her, sounds like from some of the extraction that I reviewed, he was a bit of an annoyance to her. If you want to wiretap her and then she publicly comes forward, I think from what I understand from listening to JFK, she first went to Will shot her down. Good job, Will. Way to go. That woman helped make your platform. And now you just turn away from her because you didn't want to go against Aidan, which really shows a lot of high moral character on your part. And then since Recording Gate, this is my observation, the community tanked. And Karen went into JFK's chat that infamous night in the fall of 2025 and said that there were certain people that, and I'm paraphrasing, let her down. And she's not happy about it. And it goes beyond Aidan. And did she name anyone? No. Did she do you all a kindness by not publicly disparaging you? Sure. Did you all act like a bunch of petulant assholes once she did that and either call her a see you next Tuesday, a liar, tell her to get a job, compete with her fundraising, and be in a position where you are all, including Aidan Carney, but not limited to Aidan Carney, adversarial to her? Some of you most of you continue to still grift off of her, which I think is fucking ridiculous.
Crazy.
It's
After they
enough
did
to
stick up
shit
for
all
her.
over her. You're gonna shit all over her. You're gonna wiretap her. And I'm sure people can speculate as to why that was done. I have my own feelings. And now you're in a position where you're going to still grift off of her? Like, what kind of piece of shit are you? So if you're going to be adversarial to her, Aidan, that's another issue. That's a bigger issue that you should worry about when a jury gets selected, regardless of whether they're a Nan fan or they listen to BLT, or there's any type of Young Jerks or Cryford stupid jokes that you want to pop up there, you are worried. You are worried for yourself. You're worried for your own dwindling numbers and what I observe to be probably, allegedly, numbers of subscribers that you may pay for. That's certainly my observation from what I've learned about how YouTube works. And more importantly, for someone who likes to shit on content creators like Mike and Brian and JFK and others about their dwindling audiences, you couldn't even fucking fill a golf outing and had the convenience of rain to make an executive decision to early postpone it. So
Our
why don't you
numbers are
worry
all,
about
you
more
know,
of your own numbers?
and that's the thing. Our numbers are all going up, and it drives them crazy now when I bring it up because they wanted to talk about our numbers for months and months. And TB, I don't know if you noticed, bro. I noticed you said 300 this time. Last time you said it was like 50 or 100. I mean, you guys, you had to raise the number because you know it doesn't sound right anymore. And tonight with Nan, of course, we're breaking more like recent records. Like we have more viewers here tonight than we probably have and had in like 3 months.
That
And
probably
last
a
time
lot of
Nan
them are
came on,
haters.
yeah, last time you came on, same thing. And you know, we're getting more likes too, though. Like that's the thing. They could say there's more haters, but there's more people that support it too, because you could see it through the super chats.
Well, let me
And
let me
like
take an
Let me finish
opportunity.
this. 'Cause
Go ahead.
JFK today, watching his show, I saw numbers on JFK show I haven't seen in a long time today. So I've been watching LTL's show. I've been seeing numbers I haven't seen in a long time over there. I think you're noticing. I think you're noticing, aren't you, Aidan? And I think you're a little worried about it because our numbers are moving up. And like I said, I'm not even trying yet, bro. Like I'm taking it easy. I'm still taking it easy. I still haven't thrown all my into it. And eventually that's going to happen here. So, Nan, you want to say something? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I apologize. I ridiculously interrupted you. And I didn't mean to do that. What I would say is for those watching on YouTube, I would love to see you like and subscribe. If you like if you like the content, whether it has to do with me or Mike, if you believe in the channel, like the content. I don't give a shit. It has no effect on me. None of the haters have any effect on my daily life, but I am going to call a spade a spade. I am going to call bullshit when I see it. I am going to bring my New Jersey, New York snark. I have a lot of experience in this specialty, no matter who seems to think I don't, or people who like to say, you're just a healthcare attorney. And I do want to speak to that. I spoke to it the first night I aired with you, Mike, back in January of 2025. Just because I'm in the specialty, which is a very niche practice of healthcare, people think, oh, you know, that's all she does is healthcare law. That is bullshit. Do you know what healthcare law means? It means that I cater to physicians and other licensed health professionals. If you have a license in the healthcare field, I represent you and I do all the things. The only thing I don't do for licensed healthcare professionals is matrimonial, which I will not do because it's way too emotional. I don't really do collections anymore, although I think it's still on my website because I want to change that. But it's collections is not where I'm going anymore with my clients. But I do criminal, civil, administrative. I handle all their litigations. I handle their administrative hearings and licensure actions. I handle all of it. And I said this previously on other streams. I actually am probably the most impartial and well-rounded attorney closest to the fact patterns of this case, meaning I'm not a law tuber. I don't have a financial interest or stake in this case, but I handle all the different components like the administrative hearings that Proctor faced, the civil actions. There are 4 pending now. There are 4 big cases pending now, folks, civil actions. I do a lot of civil work, but I also do criminal. And that makes me uniquely qualified and unbiased. I don't represent any of the people involved. And I'm here to just give you my take. If you want to insult me, if you want to say I'm a simp for the Young Jerks or LTL Media or JFK, or you want to falsely maintain that I somehow have had inappropriate relations with them, well, you would be fucking wrong. I'm just a good attorney who calls it like I see it. And I'm not afraid to moderately criticize if I need to. And I'm not afraid to push back because I'm not afraid of what could happen. I've already been blogged about. I've already been dragged over the coals online in terms of what people want to say about my looks, my experience, who I've been with allegedly, which is false. So all of those bad actors can just go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. CB1CB said, I remember when you were all friends. So sad. I will say to CB1CB, would you consider someone a friend if you supported them, raised money for them, for their defense, went to bat for them, helped them find one of their defense attorneys, found them witnesses, and then as soon as you had any type of constructive, almost feedback to give them some advice to say, hey, maybe don't get in trouble in New Jersey. Maybe don't go after everybody because you wiretap Karen. And then he tries to destroy everything that you've done. Would you consider that person ever to have been a friend? Like that's the question. You say, remember when we were all friends? The way I look at it is I was never that dude's friend. I tried to be his friend. He doesn't have any friends. I was his doormat. So basically what you're saying to me is remember when you were a doormat. So sad that you're not a doormat. I mean, that's what you're saying to me. I'm not a doormat. I mean, and that's what a lot of us are at the point of. We don't want to be this dude's doormat anymore. You know, I don't need him in my life. That's the bottom line. It's like I have real friends and we don't treat each other this way. It just, so when you say that we were all friends, I don't actually think we were all friends.
Yep.
You know, I think Nan is a friend now.
Yes.
That's the thing. I think I found out few actually friends in this, but it came with a lot of drama and trauma, honestly. But, you know, this dude was never a friend. I mean, that's the key.
Well, I agree. I mean, like you said, through all of this, we've kind of had the opportunity to find out who the good ones are. But also, I don't think that there were friendships. It was friendly advice that you gave him, but it was human to human advice as a fellow creator to a fellow creator who, you know, you cared about him. Like people believe in the First Amendment. People want to believe that it's not appropriate for the Commonwealth to just come after people, to silence them. And I would look at this and say, whether you guys were friends or not, and by not just you and him, other creators and Aidan, or friends or not, this type of retaliation that's been going on, this piling on, from the gutter Muppets to the good guys, it's the battle of the gutter Muppets versus the good guys. It's ridiculous. Friends or not, that's not good human behavior. And it's been a pleasure to see you guys punching back a bit. And I have enjoyed doing it myself. So keep it up. But you guys also do your own content, which none of these other gutter Muppets do. So, you know, you're not all every single day harping on all the drama. You're also living your lives and producing content as you see fit. It just so happens that things are heating up that may be related to some drama associated issues, but you're not going to sit back and take it. So I think the thing that bothers Aidan most is that he's starting to see it. He's starting to see that hearts and minds are being changed and that he's really talking to an echo chamber. That's why he's not growing. That's why there's not larger numbers watching him. He should be more concerned about his criminal defense and that trial that's coming up in just a few short months and this new looming indictment in New Jersey than shitting on all of you guys or spending any time trolling with burner accounts. Like, it's a ridiculous bad use of your time. And if you're so concerned, Aidan, about being taken away from your children, then fucking log off and go spend time with them.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
friendly, quote unquote, friendly advice.
I think you should spend all the time you can right now because you never know what the future is, bro, especially for you. You want to get as many memories with those kids as you can.
I agree.
Yeah, I had a customer call me today. as I usually do, can you take out my dog type call. And then the customer said, did you see that story in Boston Magazine about Turtle Boy? I said, yes, I did. I did see that story, customer. I did see that story. And then they were like, wasn't that the guy that you were supporting? Didn't you support Karen and Aidan? I said, yes, I did. I did. And then I had to tell them a little more. And they were like, so you're telling me that this guy, you friggin' raised money for him, you supported him, and he fucking fucked you over like that after you did all? Yeah. Wow. And these are the affluent, these are people with money. They go to, like I do, they go to dentist office. And you know what's always sitting in the dentist office when you go to the dentist? Boston Magazine. That glossy Boston Magazine is always in every dentist
Oh yeah.
office in the greater Boston area, in Norfolk County. So, that guy, that customer immediately said to me, hey, what about Aidan? What about this Turtle Boy guy? They noticed it, their family noticed it. And I think that this is the stuff that's going to work against him with his jury trial. And there's going to be a Netflix series coming out, apparently, in November, based on the same Boston Magazine story. What do you think that's going to do for his jury selection coming up in the fall?
Well,
Both the
first I have
Boston Magazine and the Netflix documentary series.
Well, first, just a quick question. Is it November? Is that the latest that the buzz is that the Netflix special or documentary will come out, is anticipated to come out in November? That is news to me because I'm not on
That's
that.
my reporting. I
Okay.
have a couple sources on that, and I'm pretty sure on it. And again, they don't know exact dates. That could change, but think about it too. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me. I'm a marketing guy. I used to market, my financial advisor business, my dog walking, and even some other stuff like the Hemp Fest back in the
Yeah.
day. And for my marketing mind, that makes so much sense. Like if my series is done on Aidan Carney and Karen Reed, and I could release it at any moment, I'm going to wait probably 2 weeks before his trial.
Oh yeah.
And especially if it's a 3-part series, which that's what's been reported, that it's a 3-part series. Drop episode 1 2 weeks before the trial. The trial starts, episode 2, halfway through the trial, then you hit them with the final episode. I mean, that would create a buzz for the network, for the Netflix series, I think. So I'm guessing it's true. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I think the Boston Magazine article, which I did read, and that in and of itself is problematic for Aidan and Karen Reed. And the anticipated Netflix documentary, which I've been made to believe or led to believe is not going to be friendly
It's going to be the McCabe, the Alberts.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Jess Machado's in it crying about what Aidan wrote a blog on her. Yeah.
And
Kate
just
Peter's
to be
going to be in
clear,
there. Gretchen
when I
Voss.
say just to be clear, when I say it's not going to be friendly, because I paused. I mean it's not going to be sympathetic to Aidan, which is obviously the right of those involved in making it. It's their right to give their angle and flair to it and their substantive input. So I would be shitting in my pants if I were Aidan and his lawyers, because you can't really maneuver as a lawyer or a defendant out of the timing of all of that. I think I recall seeing at some point there was a clip of Aidan saying, you can't really get it, or it's not optimal to try to find a different jurisdiction, a different venue, because you can't really get away from Netflix. You can't. Netflix is everywhere. And nowadays, in recent years, Netflix promotes things in a way that, like, the minute you go into it, it'll be like top 10 trending now. And not only that, but one thing that I don't think people are talking about enough is whether it's the Netflix anticipated documentary or the Boston Magazine article. Years back, you'd have a media piece like the Boston Magazine article, or you would have the Netflix documentary come out. Nowadays, you have things like that come out in print and on screen. And then you throw in, oh, excuse me, I knocked my microphone. Then you throw in the tentacles and wheel spokes of social media on YouTube and other platforms where content creators are going to talk about it.
And
So
amplify it.
amplify, that's
Yeah.
right. So it becomes much bigger. It's a force multiplier. So, I mean, I imagine you or other people
Oh,
will
we'll be
want to talk.
covering it.
Right. So it's not, this is going to be heavily amplified. And if I were Aidan, I would run for the hills and consider a plea. Because as I said last time I was on, I don't think it's looking good for him on some of the charges. I do think some may get, they may fall off naturally or get voluntarily dismissed by the Commonwealth. But I don't see him getting out of this without making a plea or entering a plea. And when I said that last time, if my understanding is he then said once he found out I said that, he said he was going to go on a big fuck you tour and I'm going to be on it as one of his next stops. So
Oh, he's coming to New Jersey, is he?
I don't know. Why don't you come here, Aidan, on your fuck you tour? And you
Yeah,
can
let me
tell-
know when you're gonna go see Nan. I'll come with you.
Yeah, let me know when you're going to be in New Jersey for the fuck you tour. I promise I won't let law enforcement know.
Does he know about the laws about cyber harassment in New Jersey? Let me ask you this other question too, because I mean,
I actually
this is
I wasn't intimating that. I was intimating
I know,
that there
I
might
know.
be a benchmark.
I'm making
for
a
his
joke,
arrest. Go
but
ahead.
they'll
ahead.
claim I'm trying to have him arrested and all this other shit.
Oh.
I can't even make jokes anymore. They get so worked up. But anyways,
It's a joke.
I want to ask you about the cyber harassment again, because it just came to me. A thought. Is it possible that the judge might like issue an order to him, like you can't talk about her anymore? If you do, we're locking you up. Like, is that possible? And can they even like take away his computer rights possibly if he's convicted?
Okay, let me start with the second part. As far because I think I heard you say something about like take away his computer or something about that. On a
Do they
recent
do that in
stream.
New Jersey ever?
So in New Jersey, a criminal court doesn't have the ability to just say we're taking away your computer rights. Like if he's you said if he's convicted of this level of or this I think it's a 4th degree felony, and whether he actually gets sentenced to jail time or comes out with probation if he pleads, something like that. The courts won't impose any restriction on his First Amendment rights moving forward to like take away computer time or somehow censor him. That doesn't work that way. The most the court can do, and that kind of goes to the first part of your question, which is depending on if this settles with some type of plea agreement, the courts can impose some type of future restrictions like different types of probationary measures that will say you will not write about her, you will not talk about her, you will not imply that you're talking about her. You will zip your lip and tie up your fingers so you don't go to print on anything about LS moving forward. If that doesn't work, if the criminal judge in New Jersey doesn't do that, which I can't imagine he or she would not, LS then has the ability to go to a chancery court in New Jersey and seek some type of, it's kind of like injunctive relief, where she would have a court in the chancery division, which is different than criminal, issue a ruling that he cannot do that. It's like a restraining order. Please stop doing that moving forward. And if the chancery judge sees that there's been a criminal conviction for this type of behavior, but he's out on probation and he's out of state living his life, a chancery court in New Jersey will be very quick to issue a forward-looking order that says you can't talk about her, allude to her, or any of the like. The problem that LS faces, and it's not just on her issue, is that, as I know I've observed, and I don't think I'm alone, that Aidan does a lot of things from my observation, in my opinion, that kind of blows a proverbial dog whistle for other people to do. So he'll say, I'm not going to talk about her, but, X, Y, or Z. And then suddenly X, Y, or Z happens because there's followers who belong to a cult, in my opinion, and then follow what he asks them or implies they should do. He'll say, I don't ask people to do anything. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not true. I think a lot depends on how people perceive getting within your good graces. So I think LS faces a tough road moving forward if she expects, once this matter is fully prosecuted, whether there's jail time or not, whether it's dismissed or not, whether there's probation or not, that this is going to be the end of Aidan Carney talking about her, writing about her, or implying that he's about her, or blowing a dog whistle as to her. So she's made her bed. She's going to have to lie in it as far as I'm concerned, but she will have the availability of post-trial relief that she can avail herself to as a victim of the alleged crime, depending on how it sorts its way out in the event that he is not acquitted.
We get reports right now that the indictment has been posted on New Jersey court's website. August 19th is apparently the date. Is that going to be virtual, or would he have to go into for an arraignment?
That's within the August 19th. That's within the discretion of the court. I've handled it both ways. I've had judges in New Jersey in different counties, and there are many counties. I think there's 13 vicinages in New Jersey. That doesn't mean counties, but we have vicinages. But I've had different judges decide that people can appear by Zoom or not, especially if they're out of state. I imagine he's not going to be required to appear in person. I'd be surprised.
What about this? Mindy says it says in person. Would you be? Yeah,
Ooh,
that would be surprising, huh? Would that be?
That's great. I mean, I would like to see that. And I may go to see that. Wait a minute. What?
You're going to be my reporter? Will you cover it for us?
Well, let me look at my calendar.
Hopefully no one else grabs you first. I want to grab you first because everyone's going to want.
Oh, okay.
Man, reporting for them.
Let's see. Oh my
The
goodness.
19th.
My whole day is free.
Oh my God. We're going to get hopefully Nan. Hopefully nothing jinxes this. Holy shit.
Wait, maybe I should start a GoFundMe because
Yeah.
if it's in Atlantic County, that's 2 hours away. If it's first thing in the morning, then I'll probably want to get a hotel the night before.
We can hook you up.
I'm destitute because Mike, I'm
You're
destitute from all of the donations that I gave to creators for clout and to promote my brand of keep showing up. So no, I'm kidding. I might stay overnight depending on the timing of it, but yeah, I might.
She's
show
going to be
up.
balling. She's going to stay at a nice place. I guarantee you. Better than where Turtle's staying.
I might have to
Excuse me.
stream it. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to stream it. We want you there. This is so fun.
To anyone who you should donate to me. Put me up in a nice hotel. Just don't donate it to Aidan Carney. No, I'm kidding.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll mark my calendar and I'll look on the docket and see if it's going to go forward. But I can tell your audience, set your expectations lower. It is possible that someone, as you said, someone wrote, it says in person. That's very common. That's common language.
Yeah, the lawyers might be able to get it to be changed. We'll see. Right. The big thing is we've spent almost 2 hours talking about Aidan's New Jersey case. Who else has done that? And been honest about it. Let's talk about Karen's civil case because, I mean, there's a lot going on there as well.
Yeah.
And we did talk a little bit about Aidan's Massachusetts cases. What do you think about this civil? Because I keep coming back to, I feel like nobody's motion dismiss is going to get dismissed. They're all going to be moved forward. And I think you might have been the one to say it, or I'm not sure though. But what happens if they all win? What happens if O'Keefe's win their cases, Karen wins her federal case? Like, wouldn't that be like insane? And it's possible actually, because what if What if a lot of these people defamed each other too? Like it's just
It's
this
a
is a weird
labyrinth.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm looking up because that's how I think. When I'm trying to figure out in my brain how to play this out. So you have the wrongful death action. That's the O'Keefe's action
Yep.
against Aidan. Excuse me, against Karen,
Karen.
and the bars. Apologize, I have Aidan on the brain. The wrongful death action, which is essentially the civil equivalent of the criminal prosecution as to her, with some changes, like they're suing the CF McCarthy's and the Waterfall as well. Then you have the civil rights actions, and there are two. Karen's filed against. Oh, and I have notes here because I made a note of all the different defendants. But she's got the civil rights actions, and they're pending in different jurisdictions. The one has like the individual defendants, and then in the second one, which I think is in Bristol County, which she brought in the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton PD, and that's for institutional civil rights violations against her. And that was one of the more recent lawsuits filed. And then there's the fourth lawsuit, which I call, and I think everyone calls, the defamation lawsuit filed by the I'm going to call them the Pro-Keefes, out of respect for them and not the McAlberts. But the Pro-Keefes have filed the defamation lawsuit, which alleges civil conspiracy and other allegations. Now, if they all are successful, what a mess. But it's possible. All of those lawsuits could be successful, but they kind of all impact one another. For example, let's say the O'Keefes win their wrongful death action against Karen and the bars. Well, that means they convinced a jury beyond a preponderance of the evidence, which just means better than 51% chance that she was culpable, that she was civilly responsible for causing the death of Officer John O'Keefe. Now, I want to be very clear. I am FKR. I don't think that scientifically happened. I'm not going to get in any spaces and relitigate that. I had to listen to Sparkly get into a space yesterday, which someone sent me a clip of today. And I went, oh my God, did she really say half the stuff she said? No offense. That's just my opinion based on my views. It's not that of the show. And it's beautiful that you're not on Twitter and people send you these clips, but I'm not going to relitigate in my mind what happened that evening. But if they win the O'Keefe wrongful death action against Karen and the bars, well, that is going to impact the civil rights lawsuits, meaning the two that Karen has filed. Then, because Karen's going to be in a position where she's like, well, I feel that there was a conspiracy against me and that there were third parties who were culpable, third party culprits. And I feel that my rights were violated and I shouldn't have been arrested and other people were responsible. And the car didn't hit, John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car and my car didn't hit John O'Keefe. I didn't kill him. Well, she's going to have a harder time proving that if she's found culpable civilly at the wrongful death stage, the first case I mentioned. Then it becomes further complicated because the fourth case, which is the defamation action filed by the Pro-Keefes, so technically they could win that as well. Karen and Aidan are brought up on similar but different claims in that action, that they civilly conspired to somehow manipulate the system in favor of her own criminal defense. And, the way you play it all out is very complicated. You could win. Some of those lawsuits could win. Some of them could lose. If Karen loses the wrongful death lawsuit, meaning if the O'Keefes win, her civil rights actions are going to be impaired. Her likelihood of success on those civil rights actions will go down. Substantially, I don't know, but it's a possibility.
Stake here.
It's a mess. It's I'm sorry for the wordy answer, but they all tie together in such a way that it becomes a tapestry. And it's all similar fact patterns. I will say this, it is my personal view that I'm sorry, I don't think that Karen Reed was responsible whatsoever. I've looked at the data, I've looked at the science, I've listened to the testimony. I'm aware of evidence that never made it into the courtroom by virtue of evidentiary rulings of Judge Cannoni. Some of that evidence is going to come in at the civil trial level in all of those actions, all four of them. Things that Judge Cannoni excluded in her tunnel vision of presentation of a case, that's my opinion, will come into all four of those different lawsuits, most notably the wrongful death and the two civil rights actions primarily. And we're going to learn a lot more. We're going to see a lot more, which is why I've never understood why Aidan and some of the gutter Muppets have interfered with fundraising for Karen Reed. It's
dumbest shit ever.
You get answers. That's the way you get answers.
So self-defeating. So self-defeating.
Yes.
That was the dumbest
Yes.
shit you ever did in your life.
Agreed.
If you don't care about Karen but you support Turtle, that was the dumbest shit you ever did in your life. Honestly. That's the thing. Like, they don't have anyone that has a brain next to Turtle, because if he did, he would have never done that. I don't get that. I still don't get why he did that.
Well, that's the way he's going to get his answers. Like, you know, it's in these civil actions. And also, I think I saw, was it yesterday or the day, one of these days recently? Wait, yesterday was Sunday. Maybe it was Friday. Aidan got served with a subpoena.
Yeah.
Right? In the wrongful death act. Yeah, the wrongful death action.
As a witness, yeah.
He's playing all cutesy with avoiding this deposition. And he's saying, my lawyer, who's not my lawyer in this matter, I'm just a fact witness, but my lawyer wrote to you and said, I'm going to plead the fifth. Okay. You're going to plead the fifth. Well, that doesn't mean you don't answer some questions. Some questions are not really even covered by the Fifth Amendment. But beyond that, you still have to go and invoke the Fifth Amendment. And you do have to do it unless the attorneys agree otherwise in person and not by Zoom. So, you know, I think Aidan is really pushing the wrong buttons by kind of saying, I don't know why you're not listening to me. You know, I'm not going to come. I'm not going to show up. And then the attorney gave him a new subpoena. If Aidan wants relief from that subpoena, if he feels that it's burdensome or it needs to be quashed, Quashed, then he needs to file a motion to quash that subpoena with the court. He has not done that. So therefore, if he does not go, and I think the attorney for the O'Keeffes has been heroically patient with him. If Aidan does not show up for that, then he will be held, or he can be held in contempt. Fees can be sought. He will be personally responsible for those fees, which translates to he'll make his donors pay for them. I mean, like, you don't fuck around with other attorneys this way. A subpoena has the same force and effect as a court order. So if he doesn't want to go and he doesn't want to participate and he's only going to plead the fifth, then he needs to either get the attorney to agree not to depose him, which is never going to happen, or he needs to file a motion to quash the subpoena in court. And honestly, the fact that he's going it alone without someone representing him as a fact witness with such a pivotal role in a lot of these other tangential civil actions, he's a bit of an idiot. A lawyer who, what was the saying? They have a saying, a lawyer who represents himself has an idiot is a fool.
Yeah. Has a fool for a client.
But people who go pro se, people who don't,
it's even worse.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I just gave you free legal advice, Aidan.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer or file
if it's
a
not too late, though, it
quash.
might be too late. If you the court might be like, F you, bro. You had plenty of time. Yeah, I mean, this is wild. The whole civil and, you know, following all his cases, and there's just so much. I'm sure we missed a lot today.
I talked a lot.
I mean, that's what we have you here for. That's
Well, I
they.
appreciate it.
Russ Trial Pile wants us to dance, but I don't have any music set up. Do you dance? We could dance to
Oh,
some.
I do
Yeah,
dance.
I
But
can
you know what?
imagine.
Don't get yourself copyright struck. But I will
Yeah,
say
true.
this, the next time, one of the next times you're on with JFK and you guys are dancing, like
Oh, you want to
I
come
need
up?
throw me a link. Yeah, that looks
Oh
fun.
my God, we gotta let him know. We gotta let him know.
Oh, see,
Imagine Nan dancing on there.
JFK is the best. Like, I'll just say to him, "Hey, can you send me those beats? Because I want to run to." Like, he's got so many different mixes, whether they're
Yeah.
his own music or others.
Yep.
And I'll say I want them. So when I go running in the morning, that's what I listen to
He sends them to you.
on request when I
Oh,
ask.
he treats you
Yes.
special then, because I don't think he's sending them to me, Nan. I think.
Yeah. He doesn't do it all the time, and I don't take advantage of it. But yes, he sent me them when I've asked.
I'm looking through to see if there's any questions in here that I didn't get to. I think there were a few. I know
I'm
we're running
looking
out of time,
too.
right? Here's one question. Yes, they should have warned her how bad the defense is going to question if they really want all that for everyone to see, but isn't that more harassment? We kind of did answer that one, so we'll go on that one.
Yeah. Or you can also ask, and Jermaine just wrote JFK's playlist is fire. It is. It is. I'm sorry. He's extremely talented and he can slay with questions just like you, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. If there's other questions, let me know.
Lisa, we did kind of go over all that.
It's
Any
always
more
good
info on
being
the
an
alleged?
honorary jerk.
Yeah. We did kind of go over that. We don't know too much about the alleged arrest warrant, though, honestly, but we did kind of go over what that might mean. Probably not that big of a deal, unless he goes to New Jersey and gets picked up by the police. But he's got an arraignment date, it looks like. If you do have any last minute questions that I haven't that got a chance to ask Nan tonight, now's the point. Now's the time that you can drop it again in the chat, and I'll ask real quick before Nan, because Nan has to go at 8, basically. A little, both of us have to go soon. We got to take out some doggies.
Just
Here's
a
one.
translation of that, Mike. You're going to give a long goodbye after I log off because
Of
your
course.
goodbyes are heroically
Always.
long.
But
What do we
maybe
got?
not tonight because my tooth is hurting.
Oh,
Can the
yeah.
Commonwealth also charge Turtle Boy for bullying the witnesses?
So I don't know the answer to that because I don't know the cyber.
If Mass has that, yeah.
I'm sure they do. Most states have an equivalent of cyber harassment law. But I don't think they will because usually when there's a charging decision made, they charge with all of the crimes at
Yeah,
the outset. So be a little
Cosgrove's got
late.
enough on his plate. He's not going to add more at this point. It's pretty obvious.
Right.
This is a good question, though. Is it true if the witnesses testified, he can't be found guilty of witness intimidation? They could testify they were intimidated, but would it work because they actually did testify, right? And if they didn't change their testimony, but people have also pointed out that some people didn't testify in the second trial, and they wonder if that's the reason. How do you think that's going to play out? Do you see that question there?
Keep that up for 1 second because I had to think twice about it and my eyes
Yeah.
are getting tired. Question, is it true that if the witnesses testify he can be found guilty of witness intimidation, could they testify they weren't intimidated? So it
And
wouldn't
I'm
matter.
going to follow up on that too. If there's any witnesses that didn't testify on trial 2 and get up on the stand and say it's because of him, they were afraid.
So whether or not any of these individuals actually testified at trial 2 or at trial 1 for that matter, that will not be of any consequence. If they were listed on the witness list, which if everyone recalls witness lists were long, a lot of people didn't testify. So they just have to be listed as witnesses, not whether they actually indeed testified. So I think the answer to all the questions that were asked there is no. But I do apologize. It has been a long day, so I want to think more about the answer to that. But honestly, like it's not going to matter if they gave testimony at trial or not. Like if they were listed and they felt, I hate the statute up there. If they felt intimidated or their feelings were adversely affected and they suffered some type of emotional harm, and a jury believes them, in looking at his conduct, a jury could determine that he did indeed violate the witness intimidation statute. Do I think that that's the case in all of the charges? No. Do I think that may be the case in some of them? I think that a jury may find that way. And no, that does not mean that I think he should go to jail, but I think he needs to have a come to Jesus conversation with his lawyers.
Awesome. Any final thoughts you want to leave, or anything that we didn't get to tonight on the civil or the criminal, or even the drama or anything?
I think I've probably said it all and then some. It's great to be here. And I'm going away for a few days. I'm going to have a good time, and I'll be back, and I'll be watching. So even though you guys can't find me on X, I'm definitely in the chats. Whether I drop super chats or just plain vanilla ones, I'm always going to be an honorary jerk, as well as following the creators whom I follow. And it's been great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I do have one more question. Granny Debbie asked, will the court proceedings in New Jersey be televised? Will we get to watch those?
Yep. New Jersey is very pro broadcast, and a very user-friendly platforms to view these proceedings. And to the extent possible, I'll be there for them. I honestly, if he's just getting arraigned, normally I would tell anyone, don't bother going to that. It's going to be such a quick proceeding. If it is in person, I think they're going to give him an accommodation and not require him in person. However, if it is just an arraignment, I would normally say don't go. But I think I have a special interest in this. I have no relationship to LS, but I think there's some things Aidan has intimated he'd like to say to my face, and I dare say he wouldn't say half the shit he says about me to my face. So maybe I'll just go. I have a few questions.
Maybe you'll have a few questions at the press conference. If he has a press conference, that'd be funny.
Yeah, I fashion myself a reporter.
Are you going to stand over him? Because I think you're much taller than him, aren't you?
I'm 5'5" and a half. I think maybe
you're
he's
probably
taller than.
Yeah, he might be a little taller.
But I do wear my high heels, so
there you
we'll
go.
See. Ultimately, I just have an interest in court proceedings. There was a court proceeding he had scheduled months back, and I had months and months and months back, and I had offered. I said, "Would you like me to attend on your behalf?" This was months and months ago. And I said, "Would you like me to attend?" And he said, "Sure, that would be great." And then it never came to pass, or it got adjourned. And then in the middle of getting it rescheduled, I decided that I wasn't going to accept the shitty way he treats people, and stop supporting him. So maybe I will go down to Atlantic County and catch an arraignment. Be very interested.
I said I was going to let you go, but more questions came in. I want you to give a quick answer on this one. It's a follow-up. What if the O'Keefes actually lose the wrongful death suit? How does that affect Karen's other case?
Great question. By the way, I personally forecast that they are going to lose it, but I don't mean any disrespect to their family. If they lose that suit, it only strengthens Karen's civil rights actions, the one against the individuals and the one against the two institutions, the MSP and the Canton Police Department. In addition, if the O'Keefes lose the wrongful death suit, and along with that, I'm just going to throw in the two bars, because the two bars are being sued for over serving. In addition to that, if they lose, it kind of takes the wind out of the sails of the defamation lawsuit, but it doesn't necessarily adversely impact it. The claims that are filed in that defamation suit are strong ones. They're going to survive anti-SLAPP. I think that decision is pending as well on the anti-SLAPP. Wait, was that denied? I think so. I stand corrected. I think the anti-SLAPP motions were denied.
On which side? On the you're talking about the
Karen,
federal or the
Karen and
Aidan?
Aidan.
Yeah, Karen's and Aidan's were. Yeah, but they also on the federal side, I think they had an anti-SLAPP too, and I don't think we've heard back on that one yet.
No, those remain under advisement.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
So,
great
yeah, it's
question.
confusing when we talk about anti-slaps and this and that because it's like, which case are we talking about now? There's so many. It's
If you're ever interested, and I will throw the same offer to Brian, if either one of you at any point wants to kind of do a more dedicated stream looking at the individual lawsuits and just look at them in a vacuum and say,
yeah,
let's talk about wrongful death, and we
yeah.
do a show on that. I'm
We
happy
could definitely
to do that.
I would love it. That would be good. I'm down to always do another show with Nan, especially with this stuff. You're very informative. The audience loves you, and you're like
Thank you.
very generous with your time. Like I very thankful for you, Nan.
Thank
Um,
you.
we can't thank you enough here. Like this is amazing
Oh,
tonight. It was
glitching.
another amazing show, and we thank you for being here. And we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Do you have
I
court? Do you
appreciate
have
it.
more court dates this week, or are you chilling out? Like what's Dan's schedule?
I'm just chilling out and heading away on a little trip at some point. But that's all I'm at liberty to say. But I'm gonna take some well needed time off.
Awesome.
But I'll still be seen in the chats. I'll still support my creators, and I need a break. It's been beautiful, people, getting off
Yeah.
of X and touching some grass.
That's what I need to know.
Strongly encourage it. And
And
everyone
I think people
knows,
like this show today. The people that were here too. Like I think some people come into it, the Turtle Riders, thinking we're gonna bash the shit out of Turtle again. I don't think we did tonight. I think we were pretty damn fair with him, considering all the shit
I
he throws at
agree.
us. We were way more fair with him than
And
he
I'm
would
gonna
ever be
go
with us.
I agree.
What do you say?
And if this ends up oh, sorry, we glitched a little bit. But in the future or tomorrow, if I get shit on for dumping on him, I'm just giving honest commentary. If he thinks that this was hard to hear or somehow jaded by my own personal views, you wrong. As
you're wrong.
Kevin from
You're
South
wrong.
Boston would have said, you wrong.
Nan and I are decorated dudes over here. I don't.
We are.
Well, we should comment on that real quick before you go too. There was did you see the letter? The complaint that Higgins filed against Microdots that mentioned JFK and James. I thought it was funny. Just the whole complaint. I mean, I get it. I get why he's upset about Microdots, but what I thought was funny that he mentioned James and JFK, but he never mentioned that he called into their show. It was like the elephant in the room. He didn't want to mention that. What did you think about that letter? Did you think that was funny? That part that he didn't mention was funny too?
Yeah, sometimes it's what you don't mention that's the most important thing. Just like Brian Higgins, took it upon himself to voluntarily pull part of an extract off of his phone, to voluntarily give it to investigators. Like he curated what he wanted the investigators to see, not provide his phone and hand his phone over, just like he conveniently discarded his phone or SIM card at a military base or a series of military bases. So yes, he didn't mention the whole Kevin from South Boston allegation that he is strongly suspected to be the caller into the JFK show. One thing I was not sure of when I read it, because I want to say I saw it this weekend, was, and I was going to reach out to JFK, but I didn't. When was that call? When was the call by allegedly Kevin from South Boston into the JFK show? Do you know the answer to that? Or does anyone know when that call was?
It was before trial 2. I think it was between trial 1 and 2.
See, that's interesting because that's my memory too, Mike. And this letter or this report that I believe was taken by Tully.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. You're right. Because I saw JFK talking about it. I think, you got a point there. I think it was a few weeks before the letter, like maybe a month before the letter, something like that. The call. You know what I mean? So,
okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you because that was my memory too. And when someone sent me that report, it was prepared by Tully. If I recall, it was prepared in March of 2025. that would be right before trial too. And my first question in my mind at the time was, wait a minute, when was the Kevin from South Boston call? And I couldn't specifically remember, but think about this. There's a call into the JFK show by, quote, Kevin from South Boston or Kevin of South Boston. Then around that time, in or about that time, as lawyers say, there's this report that's filed by Tully taking the statement of Brian Higgins. I don't believe in coincidences. I think Higgins called into the JFK show. I do feel personally it was him, not because Microdots did the overlap of voices, and it sure does appear to be him. I think it really does sound like it to me. It is my personal observation. I'm not a voice recognition specialist. And I think what Higgins did was once it immediately hit the news wire that it appears to sound like him, he went in and filed that report. If that's the chronology of it all, I think he probably did that to cause some type of legal ramification against JFK or James or Microdots or any of the like. I mean, to be honest, I skimmed the report and thought this is total Bush League. I think Higgins is afraid that he got identified. I think it was him. And I think ultimately he's going to face a lot of public criticism, more so than he has, when that recording makes its way into a courtroom in one of the civil actions. And it will. And what does that mean? It means that you're going to have JFK and James Jackson on a witness list. Because the only way that the Kevin from South Boston recording gets authenticated is really by those who were present for the recording. And ultimately, it's probably JFK, because JFK is the quote unquote owner of that channel. I don't believe James Jackson at the time had any ownership in that channel. And I think it is very important for impeachment purposes in any of the civil actions where Brian Higgins is a litigant, that he is presented questions on that very issue. Let him deny that he is Kevin from South Boston. Let a jury decide if they believe that was him or it wasn't him. It looks bad. These are my personal views. I don't mean to disparage him.
These are the dates. We've got them confirmed. People have been posting in the chat. It's
what do you got?
The call happened December 11th, 2024, and then he filed the report in March. So it's 3 months later, basically.
Yeah, thank you.
And there's also been a lot of pushback, and I think a lot of heat about these lawsuits. They're saying that more YouTubers are going to get sued. What do you think about that? And should YouTubers be afraid? Should they be preparing their lawyers? And what type of shit do you think would actually come down on a YouTuber? Like what type of things would they have to have said to even be worried about that?
Okay, so I will answer this, but then I am going to run just because I want to get
this will be the last
with
question.
Roselle. So do I think it's likely that other lawsuits come down against content creators? I have no personal knowledge that there are any. I do think that well, let me say this. I'm not a content creator, and I'm not even including myself in this answer. I think there are some content creators who are out there who might be a little, or should be a little, concerned if there is a desire to be litigious on the part of the pro-Keefs. There are some content creators who cross the line of what I think is appropriate. Words of disparagement, words of defamation, and the like. I want to say, when I looked it up, it was a 3-year statute of limitations for defamation in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that is what it is. 3 years.
And that means that lawsuits, if coming against creators who maybe crossed some lines and went far beyond giving their own opinion and said things that were factually inaccurate. And I don't know, I can't give examples, but if that happened, they could expect lawsuits. There are some individual creators who I think are beyond reproach and have nothing to worry about. I can tell you, Mike, that I don't feel you have anything to worry about. That is not my legal opinion. It's just my insight. I can't give you legal advice. I'm not licensed there yet. I don't think Brian
You never
LTL.
know. People still could file a lawsuit. You never know. That's the point.
You never
on
know.
this. And it's
But
very expensive to defend. It's $1,000 an hour for some of these lawyers.
yeah, but I also feel like, for example, Brian LTL and JFK James, Kevy Kev, Jay Brill, I don't think they have anything to worry about. So or DJ and Bia, for example. I can't speak to all of Untwisted Tragedy's body of work, but I don't see why she would get sued because she's in support of AFKR. But I did not watch her assiduously until late last year, early this year. With all of that said, what can any content creator do to help insulate himself or herself from liability? Well, don't really push the envelope with how you disparage people, and don't push things as fact, which are really your opinion.
Yeah, like
Don't.
if you claim Colin did it or Higgins did it or even Karen did it. I hear that a lot too. I mean, I think that might be a harder lawsuit to push for Karen because she was obviously indicted, but she was found not guilty. I mean, I also look at the anti-Karen Reed people and say, you better be careful too, some of you, because if she wins her lawsuits, if Karen gets $30 million, she might turn around and sue some of you people who were saying Karen did it too. So both sides, I think both sides. I would not be saying Colin did it, Higgins did it, or Karen did it without some type of legal conclusion, a court of
Right.
record saying they did it. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
fucked. That's
I mean,
my opinion.
I agree. And that's, you often hear me say, like, hey, this is my opinion, not that of the show. But I
Right.
don't say this person did it or that person did it. I think, and I feel very passionately, I do feel that there are individuals involved in the pro Keefe side, okay, that were possibly responsible or involved or something. I mean, was I there? No. Do I know with certainty? No. But I do know that there's really only one way, and it's not my job to determine how it happened. But ultimately, John O'Keefe died. Something happened there, and I was persuaded by the body of evidence and bounty of evidence that it was not Karen Reed. Does that mean that I'm saying it's this person, that person, this person did it? No. I am
Yeah.
saying that they were there, and it sure looks suspicious to me. That's legally permissible to do. But when people start pushing things for views and clicks and aha moments, and to start, having a big braggadocious display and scream at people. I mean, I've heard Will say, F the McAlberts, screaming into his microphone just, for show. I think ultimately those are the types of examples of why you got to kind of watch how hard you push. And it really does impact. I mean, it's going to impact people if you're not open-minded to the other side. I am not convinced by the other side, but I am open to their opinions. Like I talk to people now who have opinions that perhaps Karen was involved or responsible. I don't believe it. We agree to disagree. But I think it's reckless, and I'm using that very loosely. It's a kind of
I don't think it's
reckless.
right either, because if you don't have the proof, like,
Yeah,
I have suspicions, but I'm not going to turn around and say that person did it when I can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Like if the FBI couldn't prove it, how the hell So it's
that's
funny.
right. Yeah, but also just, comport yourself like a good human. People will still watch. I think it's this finger pointing and this, they're the bad guys and they're involved. Well, unless you know that with 100% certainty exactly what happened, and nobody does except
Yeah.
those involved, then maybe you need to just curb the enthusiasm a little bit. And
Protect
honestly,
yourself. I just say protect yourself. I mean, this is common sense at this point. No, trust me, getting sued sucks. Even if you know you're gonna win, like I knew I was gonna win my suit, it still sucked.
someone just posted in your chat, Nan, you seem to give little digs to other content creators. Dish. Yeah, I do. Why? Because I have been, hey Dish, when
I
you
kinda
have
like it,
been
actually.
when you've been the subject of multiple petty streams and pejorative comments and misogyny, had your physical appearance, your sexual proclivities insulted, where people make punchlines out of your name or insult the way you look after losing tons of weight, and you ultimately, as that person, don't actually like the way these content creators are comporting themselves, you're damn right I'm going to give a few digs. The only
I don't
difference
blame
is
you at all.
there's truth. There's truth behind my opinions. Some of the content creators deserve a little bit of a dig, because if
They
they have
do.
to resort to insulting a fucking attorney who went out of her way to support everybody with no
Exactly.
expectation of anything in return, and went on with no payment, no vig, nothing, no desire to build a brand, no desire to grow a channel, none of it. So I do like to give a few digs to people who deserve it. Thank you very much.
And they're
Anyway, with all of that
dumbasses.
said, yeah, don't
They're
go around
dumb.
defaming people.
Yeah, those ones that did that are dumbasses, and I'm actually glad about it because I don't have to fight many people to get Nan on my show now, which is awesome. They're fucking fools. It's
That's
just
right.
Brian and I. It's like sometimes JFK will have you on or calling all beings or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like they really shot themselves in the foot over that one. They lost one of the best guests around, and I'm very happy that we have space for you here, Nan.
Thank
And I
you.
just like having you on. And you know, they went out. Some of these idiots, these trashy YouTubers, they went after your kid. Like anybody that goes after kids, you're a scumbag. It's
I
the bottom
agree.
line. Scumbag. It made me so angry. I was speechless one night on JFK when I couldn't even believe what I was watching. And I was
Yeah.
like, JFK, I gotta go. I can't do this. It really bothered me. So that's how bad it is, folks. It's like when you're going after kids and stuff.
Well, I agree. And one last thing on that. Just because I posted videos of my son and me driving in a car talking about some of these cases, which by the way were all his idea, something that interested him. Just because I did that, people still think it's appropriate to talk about that. People think it's appropriate to make punchlines about him or about me. And they try to, when questioned on it, say, well, we're really just making fun of Nan. We're not making fun of him. That's not true. What Broken Baker did a week or so ago went far beyond making fun of me, and actually did an inappropriate impersonation of my child and changed one letter of his name. There's a special place in hell for people like you, Broken Baker. And that's my opinion. It's not that of the show, but I think that means you're a piece of shit. And honestly, I deserve an apology. Am I going to wait for it? Absolutely not. But I will make mental note, and when the time comes for a reckoning, you'll be one of the top on my list, whether you live across the pond or not. But yeah, they went after my kid. They go after my motherhood. But honestly, Mike, you know what the best part about all of this bullshit is? That
You have a great life, and they don't.
besides all the blessings of life, after all the shit that I have gone through, and I'm not a fake victim or a chronic victim, after all the shit that I have been through, what I realize is these people are pieces of shit. They've got nothing. If the only way to come at me is to say that I'm jealous of someone, or I'm a bad mother, or I wear a wig, or they don't like my eyebrows, they don't like my makeup, they don't like the leather pants I wear, they think I'm in this for clout, or that I have a brand that I'm promoting. If that's the best you can say about me, or the worst, things you can say about me, then I'm winning. Okay. But ultimately, like you said a few minutes ago, what these assholes did was they lost my support. They lost one lawyer who knows how to articulate about these cases, who will never fucking help them, whether it's financially or verbally, on any of their matters. And I will go out of my way to help people whom they've hurt. But with that said, I am going to go walk my dog now.
Yes, I'll let you go. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Attorney Nan Gallagher. Let's hear it in the chat. Put up your ones or your love, your hearts in the chat for Nan Gallagher. We love you. It's all good to have you on the show. I'm glad you're a friend and a supporter.
Absolutely.
And thank you
Love
for
you
blowing up
too.
my chat tonight. People love this tonight. And great content. I feel really good about this show tonight. And it's because of
Thanks,
Nan.
Mike.
Thank you so much, Nan. Have a great
Thanks
night.
for having me. Good night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care,
You too.
friends.
Thank you. We're the Young Jerks. That was attorney Nan Gallagher. I'm so happy she was on the show tonight. Yeah, he went after her kid. I mean, it's so sick, some of the shit that goes on. I love all these hearts. And then it's so funny. The troll gets an answer. There was no venom. And the troll comes back with, wow, defensive too. You're a defensive, Dish. I didn't realize that. I didn't know you would be defensive, Dish, about us answering your question. You're welcome for that. Fucking weirdos. And then Just Joe says Higgins did it. I'll say it. Well, I hope you have a lawyer. I mean, especially if you have a platform. You might be able to get away with it being a one person. But geez, I don't want to see people get sued. That's all I'm saying. And if you're gonna say that shit and do that shit, be prepared. Have a lawyer. Have a lawyer. I have a lawyer fund. That's why I never spend my money, people. Just in case I got sued, I want to make sure I have a good lawyer. But that's all that was conversation was about. How do people protect themselves and be prepared for it? Oh, I'm sorry we didn't get to dance, but we'll dance next time. We haven't heard about that movie. I think that movie is kaput. I don't think it's gonna happen. Allie, yes, I'm a big stock guy. I trade stocks a lot. I'm buying refinery stocks right now. I don't know if it's a foolish move, but their earnings are through the roof. They're making so much money right now, the refinery oil stocks, but who the heck knows? Oil price went down today. I don't know. It's weird, this whole oil market thing. Yeah, I used to be a financial advisor for like a decade. So yes, I am now I just trade my own money. Archie said, "Do I board?" Sometimes, very small. Mostly just my regular dog walking customers. Sometimes we'll board a dog or two here, but it's not like a kennel. We stay underneath the limit, so we don't have to get a license or anything like that. So yeah, if you have 3 or less dogs stay with you, customer dogs, you don't have to get licensed. So we keep it very small. It's like a boutique. But boarding isn't really. I like more. My business is dog walking, but we do a little boarding. All right. Any other comments, questions, anything else I need to address tonight? I'm going to redirect you right now when the show's over to Brian, LTL Media. I believe he's doing a show tonight. So we're going to send everyone. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Natalie. I want to thank all our mods here. Thank Victorine. So Sarah, Natalie. We had a lot of mods here tonight. We were worried we might not have enough because sometimes when Nan comes, all the trolls come. But I think we had more than enough mods, and I don't think we had that many trolls. There were a few, but not really. Not really. We were pretty. I think people they know now. If they come in here and try to troll, they're gonna get shut down, and they may get put up on the stream. I've been making some of them content lately. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid now. The YouTube drama. It's a long story. I mean, it's hard to explain, but bottom line is Aidan Carney, Turtle Boy, wiretap Karen Reed, and that's where all this drama started. But he was also bashing her for months. It's just I'd say it's just a lot of self-inflicted Aidan Carney drama. And there's a bunch of YouTubers who are big time, and they back him because they want the clicks and the views, and they have a little alliance, and they beat up on a lot of us other YouTubers and try to destroy our channels because we stood up for Karen. It's been back and forth, and most of us are just moving on at this point. But he's not. He's never going to move on. That's the thing. You can never leave Aidan Carney. And some of his followers, they get very upset if you're not best friends with Aidan anymore. It's weird. They wonder why we call it a cult. If they don't want us to call it a cult, stop acting like a cult. And Aidan's gone after so many ex-girlfriends, ex-supporters. Just this is what he does over and over again. There's a list. We went through a list of women, for Christ's sakes. There's like 24 women he's gone after over the last couple of years alone. Most of them ex-supporters. It's annoying. You know, if you watch him for an hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. But we cover it now. You know, we're covering his drama. We're covering his court cases. And apparently it upsets him. But whatever. I don't really give a fuck about him anymore. I tried to be his friend. I'm done. I'm done. You know? I'm just covering it. Like I said, I told everyone, I'm covering this like I'm on the Jeep. I'm the National Geographic cameraman. We're at the safari. The animals are fighting. And I'm telling you, play by play, the cheetah just took down the gazelle. The gazelle is struck. That's all I'm doing over here. I'm giving a play by play. I'm sitting on the Jeep. And that's all we're doing over here. We're just telling you the truth. Yeah, very similar to Trump. Very similar, actually. And lawsuits. And, I mean, this guy wiretapped everyone this year. He wiretapped LTL. He wiretapped Lucky. He wiretapped Scanlon. He wiretapped Karen Reed. But then his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend Meredith, wiretaps him, and he has charges pressed against her. I mean, that's the other thing. He's just the way he's like Trump is he has all these lawyers on standby to sue people. Anyone who goes up against them. It's weird. He needs a friend that can just say, "Hey, bro, you got to slow down." But he'll never have a friend like that. He won't allow it. Yeah, he can't stand it. He says nobody watches us and we don't matter, but he covers my show every single time we do a show. Like, he covers me way more than I cover him. That's the funniest shit of all. I'm content on his show much more than he's content on my show. And ever since I started turning him into content, he's really getting upset. And his audience is now mad at me because, you know, I said, you know what, if you're going to make me content, I'm going to stop making you content. Especially since you're such a fuck up. That's the thing. I'm not a fuck up. I don't get arrested. I don't have, you know, ex-girlfriends up my yin-yang all mad at me. I mean, he's got nothing to attack me over. That's the thing I was saying. You're so mad at Brian. What did Brian do to you? Raise money? Like, what was Brian's sin that he did? And with me, all he's getting attacked now, he's trying to attack my girlfriend. Like that's going to bother him. Like, you think that's going to take, like, really? He posted pictures of oh my God, it hurt me so. Like, who gives a fuck, bro? You don't think everyone in the world that is close to me already knows who my girlfriend is? Like, it's like he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He can't figure out how to attack me. His only thing is, he's got no followers. He got no, but that's not, look at tonight. Our chat was lit. That's the problem with him. That's why he's getting so mad. He can't figure out how to take us down. Yeah, I've never badmouthed an ex-girlfriend in public. Yeah. And, you know, it'd be one thing if it was a one-time ex-girlfriend. Sometimes you have issues, you know, people have the crazy ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, right? But over and over and over and over and over again, like, I can name all these ex-girlfriends. It's just ridiculous. And it's always somebody else's fault. That's the problem with this guy. He creates a problem, blames it on somebody else. Machado, it's her fault. It's Machado wanted to talk about me putting her in a bad position. This is Aidan. Me playing a wiretap phone call for her. Clearly, Machado inserted herself. It's her fault, even though he's the one who inserted Machado. I mean, I heard him say that the other day. It's like, that's not Machado's fault. You inserted her in the situation, and then you blamed her when you put her in a bad spot. It's exactly the same thing he did to me way back. And it's exactly the same thing that he did to Nurse Kim. This is what he does. He puts people, his friends, in a bad spot, and then he expects you to take the shit. And then he'll lie about it on top of it. Like, he puts you in a bad spot, you cover up for him, and then he lies about it. Like, that's not a friend. That's what he did to Nurse Kim. That's what he did to Machado. That's what he did to me. He put us, all three of us, in bad positions, and then when we basically covered for his fucking ass, then he turned around and lied about what we did for him. Like, that's a fucking scumbag move. Like, number one, I don't ask my friends to cover for me. If my friends ever did cover for me for something I fucked up on, I'd be thankful for life for that. He's not thankful. You know? So that's why a lot of us are done. And I'll never go back to it. I don't get abused by people. Yeah, exactly, Colin. You know it. Yeah, she might have made up with him, but that's always temporary. And she knows what he did to her. You know, if she made up with it, it's because she doesn't want to deal with the bullshit. I mean, this is how he bullies people into compliance. This is his standing operating. You know, this is how he operates. And I'm not playing that. He's never going to be able to bully me back into his cult. And that's why he's so mad. Yeah, there's another one. Jason Broyles. Jason Broyles tried to help him so many times, and what's he do to him? Fucks him over. I mean that's what the common theme is. If you get too close to this guy, if you become friends with him, he's going to ask you to do shit, and then he's going to fuck you over. Yep. I thought success might moderate him. I thought he would be like a Howard Stern and kind of clean up his act. Instead, he got a lot worse. Yep. And that's it. Yeah, you can't trust someone not to fuck you over when they fuck over themselves over and over again. And that's Turtle Boy. I mean, like Nan said tonight, one of the dumbest things he did was fucking block those fundraisers for Karen Reed. Like that was so self-sabotaging, it's not even funny. We did 3 fundraisers for Karen Reed, and every single one of them he shit on. And that was self-sabotage. Yep. Yep. And this was my great sin. I warned him. I warned him about that situation in October last year, remember? Exactly. I can't blame Nurse Kim on that. You know? I know a lot of people will look at that say she's weak and all this stuff, but you don't know if you haven't been in that position. And you don't know what she's worried about. Maybe she's worried about losing her job. You know? That's the thing. He thinks he can fuck with me, but there's nothing he can fuck with me on. That's the problem. That's why he's trying to use my girlfriend against me now. Like that's gonna bother me. Clown. Which is also a trap, by the way, Turtle. I don't know if you figured that out, you dumbass. I set the trap so easy too. It's so easy. I used one of your little hench ladies, didn't I? You're not very smart, bro. Law nerd Amber sent a gold coin. Raccoon Girl gave me a thumbs up tonight. Thank you so much. Going through the super chats. Hopper, thank you so much. She said, bring it, Nan. Lindsay Lay said, love you, babe. Every single one of you. Have an amazing rest of your day. You too. Thank you so much. Linz. LTL Media, my boy, was here earlier. Goddamn, Nan. He's got a show tonight, too. He's going to be covering some similar stuff tonight. Nicole RM67 just gifted 5 Young Jerks memberships. Miss 808. I know, right? That would be justice right there. New Hampshire dude says Turtle Boy can go to jail. His kids will be better off. Sorry, not sorry. LRH4 Horse Racing says love Nan and Mike. You're okay. Thank you. And Natalie, Diana, thank you so much for being a mod here. Rock bottom, huh? I don't know. Some people never hit the rock bottom. They just keep digging. Johnny, thank you so much. Johnny came through and said, yeah, I think we acknowledged that one earlier. Thank you so much. Thank you, Johnny. I agree. Wake up, America. And resist, says Dan, please forgive me for something I said that may have hurt you. I don't think you did. I wouldn't worry about it. New Hampshire Dog Mom said Power Potion. Denise, thank you so much, Denise. She's a party blower tonight. Also got this one from Rust Trial. Appreciate you both. She's got a Twitter account. Make sure you check her out. She puts some good stuff on Twitter. She's a lawyer, a female attorney. Another one. Laura Lay says, great show. Denise came through again, and Sarah came through today as well. So many good people here tonight. Oh, I should have asked this one. I'm sorry I didn't ask this one, Jim. Jim says, when will better alluring courts want motions, not letters? Since you're in New Jersey, Dad, do you send letters of motions? I'm actually kind of glad I didn't ask. That would have been too much of a catty question, honestly, Jim. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm sorry I didn't ask it. Sometimes I just get too caught up. There's a lot going on here today. Thank you so much, New Hampshire, dude. Oh, and Cassandra asked, no dental insurance. No, I don't have any dental insurance. I did have it at one point, but I realized I was getting ripped off. My dentist office that I love, I'm not going to go to any other dentist. They didn't accept it. So it's like, why am I paying for dental insurance? They don't accept it. And even if when they did, even when I did use that dental insurance at other places, it's like, doesn't really cover much. It's not really worth it. When you're self-employed, you kind of just have to pay the whole bill. Unfortunately, if you're employed, obviously you have Delta Dental. It's usually a pretty good plan. Then you get the dental insurance. But if you're self-employed, those dental plans kind of suck. I have to say, like, I don't know, they weren't accepted. So I think a lot of self-employed people don't actually have dental insurance. If you're an employee, you have it. It's a better plan if you're an employee for some reason. Yeah, exactly. They usually give me a discount anyways. I pay it all. But I hurt today, another 2,200. I've spent so much on my teeth the last couple of years between the implants. I did 4 implants. But this is like the second crown. Basically the crown fell out, so I had to do it again. It's just like I'm old enough where crowns stop falling out, Yeah, all insurance as a self-employed person is outrageous. I know. It's tough to be self-employed. It really is. You do have a lot more to carry for yourself. Thank you, Merlot. I think I thanked Law Nerd Amber too, hopefully. I think I did, yes. Thank you so much. I'm just going to check the Venmo real quick because I did just put it on the screen. I don't expect I got any donations tonight because we really didn't advertise that. But I don't want to miss if anyone came through. Oh, shit. It looks like someone did come through. Let's check that one out. On the Cash App. All right. You Wake Up America and Resist just sent a donation through on the Cash App, and it's a message for Nan, which is perfect because I can actually get that to her. I screenshotted it. I will send it over and make sure she knows. Thank you for sending the $10 donation there. Crowns are a waste of money. What are you supposed to do? Just rip the tooth out? If you don't get a crown, what are you doing, Ruby? I don't get that. They are expensive, but what do you do? If you're not going to do it, you just rip the tooth out? I don't want to lose another molar. I've had a lot of teeth pulled out already. What do you do? If you're not doing a crown, what are you doing? You just like filling it in with silly putty? Oh, tell me about it, Queen of the Pool. I swear to God, so many people stay at jobs they don't like just for healthcare, especially older people. I think it would encourage small business big time if we had universal healthcare. I wish we had it. But I gotta say, Massachusetts isn't bad. We have some actual decent in Massachusetts. One of the better things living here. We now actually have some affordable health insurance through like Mass Health Connector. So it's not that bad here. Other states, it's not as good. I know. Our health insurance in Mass is pretty good, but I still wish we had universal health care. I think it would help small business immensely. That's the thing. I didn't take my receipt today. Can I file? I think I've been missing out on some write-offs. There's dental care. Can you write that off? I wonder. I feel like I'm paying. I should be getting a tax break for all the money I invested in my teeth. Yeah, see, mine doesn't even the one I had it wasn't accepted, so it was a waste of money. I'll take a crown every time, right? You were thinking of root canals, yeah. That's it. Well, that's the problem. Some places are the medical deserts more and more too. One of the reasons we're lucky here in Mass, the one I have now, the health insurance I have, is right through Mass General. Mass General Partners has basically bought all the big hospitals in Boston and a lot of the regional health centers now. And they have an insurance plan that's pretty damn cheap. You just have to go to their hospitals. But, I think most places don't have that. But I also worry about it that, once everyone gets signed up for it, they're going to start jacking up the price, right? So we'll see. Yeah, dental should be tax deductible. Holy shit. Maybe I should redo my taxes then. What about implants? Do implants count? God damn. I'm down. I'm down with DSA. I'm in. I'm not a member, but I support a lot of their actions, definitely, especially universal health care. All right, I'm gonna go, jerks. I'll see you over at LTL Media tonight. We're still here. Oh, look at us. We still got 400 or 500 people. Look at that. All right, jerks. Peace out. I'll see you over at LTL Media. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be covering Clancy tomorrow. I don't know how much I'm going to be live this week, honestly. I have a kind of a crazy week. I have a lot to do, both personally, but also with, some of the dog business and some other stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to be around this week that much. Next week might be a better week. You might not see me as much as you're used to. So it's nothing. It's not like I'm going away. So just don't worry. If you don't see me a little bit this week, it's kind of expected. But I'll see you when I see you. Peace out, jerks. Thank you so much for supporting us. I'll talk to you soon.